What's up? 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 What is up? How are y'all doing today? It is Friday, and y'all know what that means. That means we're gonna have us a good old time tonight. I am your host, Emmanuel Noizet. You already know what it is. And I want to welcome each and every one of you for hanging out with your boy tonight, guys. It always means a whole lot to me when you decide to choose to come and hang out with me on a Friday night and just kick it with the rest of the E-fam as we just sit back and talk about the news and TV and all the things in the entertainment world. So tonight we've got a couple of topics we will talk about. Listen, there was a big shakeup at Marvel, with the X-Men 97. So that happened with the showrunner being fired. I think I'm gonna give y'all my theory as to what happened. I'm gonna give y'all my theory because I was able to put a couple of extra things together. So we're gonna play detective with that story. What else do we have? We got some Marvel rumors about the future of a couple movies and so on. And then I'm gonna give you guys my review of the American Society of the Magical Negro. So I will do that. And then, of course, we'll cover a whole bunch of other things. But if you want to participate, no matter where you're watching from, feel free to come on over to the YouTube side of things and hit subscribe. Once you hit subscribe, and trust me, it is free. I'm not charging you a dime. You too will be able to participate and have your comments shown just like with the rest of the E-fam if you choose to participate. Or you could just go ahead and, talk with the rest of the folks here because listen, we got a great community right now, so you're kind of missing out if you're not part of the YouTube fam right here. And just come on and join one of the livest chats on all of YouTube. I apologize, guys, for doing this a little bit later. I did have to go see another movie, and that kind of was running late and all of that. So but stay tuned. I will be giving you a monstrous reaction coming up very soon after a certain movie that I saw. So I'll let you guys know about that as soon as the studio says I'm allowed to release it. So but before we get into tonight's business, let's go ahead and do our what's ups and hellos to the people that made it out tonight nice and early. I always appreciate y'all coming in early now. Let's see, my man JM, what is up? How are you? Good to see you. Last of my kin, what is up? Good to see you as well. Paulette, thank you so much for being here. Rabia, what is up? How are you? Let's see, Jay, what is going on? Thank you so much for being here. Eric, I see you as well. Thank you so much. Ism, what's going on? Come on now, Ms. Harper. Thank you so much for being here. Always appreciated. Latrice, how you doing? Good to see you. Mr. Mitchell, what is up, man? Thank you so much for being here. Tyrone, what is up? Good to see you as well. Pierre, thank you so much for being here, man. Always good to see the vets coming back. 60 plus, thank you so much for being here. We got the homie Zia Latrice in the building. Thank you so much. Boss, how you doing? Good to see you. Joe, what is up? Good to see you as well. My man Nelson V is back here, guys, and he still ain't seen a thing. You see how he just slide in and he ain't seen nothing? He ain't seen Blade. He ain't seen Blade 2. He ain't seen The Raid. He ain't seen The Raid Part 2. And he probably still ain't seen Daredevil either. Listen, let me just tell y'all something for the new folks. We here around in the E-fam, we like to hold each other accountable. That's all. It's all in love. But he thought we forgot. He thought we forgot. It was another week. I purposely ain't say nothing last week. But, sir, we remember. Okay? We remember. So anyway, I just wanted to say, what's up, Nelson B? Good to see you, brother. All right. Thank you so much for being here. My man, Johnny Washington, is back. Oh, good to see you. Shard, thank you so much for being here as well. My man, Didier, is back. Thank you so much. Kimmy, how are you? Good to see you too. Trees, how you doing? Nighthawk, what is up? My man, Eric, is back. Good to see you. Tyra with the K. Come on through. What is up? T-Ville, how you doing? My man, Minister Crush, is back. I'm not gonna pick on Minister Crush. I'm not gonna pick on him. He kind of disappeared last week. My man had some comments, but he kind of disappeared. But we're not gonna talk about that. We're not gonna talk about it. That's my man's though. That's my man's. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Anna, what is up? How are you? We got the homie Kristen Pratt. Thank you so much. I see now I gotta scan Kristen's comments because last time she snuck something in there. Look where we live, laugh, Morbius. Listen, laugh at. We laugh at Morbius, if that's what you mean. Yes. Thank you so much. Callow, what is up? Good to see you. My man Corey is back. What is going on? Let's see. Who else do we got? I see my man Travis is back. Good to see you, Jerm. How you doing? Thank you so much for being here. Kristen, how are you? Let's see. Steven, thank you so much for being here. There we go. Shona, what is up? I ain't seen you in a minute now. Yes, it has been a while. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see. Who else? Soto, I see you. What is up? TT, good to see you again. Thank you so much. Andrew, how are you? Tanya, what is up? Good to see you. My man Lou is back. Rhonda, good to see you as well. Barry, how you doing? My man GD is back in the building. How you doing? Jesus, good to see you. Chill Spot, On My Square, Wilbur, Breezy, how are y'all doing? Antoine, thank you so much. And my man Derek Gaines is back. And shout out to everyone that has made it out tonight, guys. You already know I really, really appreciate y'all. All right, let's grab some quick comments here. Jarrell, what you got? Celebrate my birthday today, E-Man. Catch you on the replay. Also, any Kobe updates. First of all, happy birthday, Jarrell. Everybody, feel free to go ahead and wish Jarrell a happy birthday. First and foremost, I hope that you celebrate, have a great time, enjoy it. Listen, however old you are, that's the only time you're going to be that old. So make sure you make it special and enjoy yourself. As for Kobe, Kobe's cool. Ain't nothing too bad. The only thing we're doing with Kobe now, because he's been getting, I told y'all before, he's getting a little aggressive, right? Like, I don't know if it's resource guarding or whatever it is, but now he's starting to growl when when my wife or the kids start to feed him. Now he don't do that with me. Like you know what I'm saying? Still alpha now, but it's not okay. He can't be growling at other people and stuff like, bro, I don't know what your issue is, but that ain't gonna ride. And the missus, she not on good terms with Kobe right now. Listen, the missus used to be the one that, oh, that's my baby. Oh, this my little Kobe Warby. That's my baby. And now she like, get that little something out my face. I'll be like, dang, Kobe, what you do? So all that growling and stuff is definitely not working out for him. So what I've been doing is I'm trying to transition him out of the crate right now because we did crate training to really help him with his bladder and stuff like that, and it's worked. Like, he's definitely gotten better with, he doesn't need to go out all the time, and he's no accidents at home, so that's great. But yeah, that crate, I don't know, I think he's getting a little spoiled in the crate. So I've been trying to move his food outside, move it outside the crate. Unfortunately, Kobe a little slow. Like, Kobe kind of look at it like, what's that food going? What you got that for? Why are we not eating in the crate? So now sometimes he skips a meal because he doesn't want to eat outside the crate. Sometimes he'll eat, sometimes he won't. So, at least from the reading that I've been doing, it's been saying, like, you just got to be consistent, and like, if he skip a meal, that's on him. Like, you just have to show him whenever the food is out, that's when you go. Listen, when it's chow time, it's chow time. You don't want to eat, food is gone. You're going to have to wait till the next meal or until the next day. So yeah, we're trying to get that going. It's a little hit or miss, but we got to be consistent with it. But listen, it might be that time. We was trying to save him, up a little bit, maybe breed him down the road. But listen, bro, I always told him he only got one strike. Because if that ain't the case, it might be time for the snip. You know what I'm saying? It might be, I don't want to do that to my boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, I need you to just get right. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that to the boy. But, if that's what it means, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. So we gonna hope that Kobe get it together. We gonna hope that he get it together. I also think that this is because it's shedding season for him, and because he sheds, he stinks. Like I've been trying to, comb him and do that Furminator, whatever thing to help him get it along. But don't nobody want to mess with Kobe when he stink, So he going to the groomer tomorrow. I think that's when everybody gonna like him again. Because he only got 2 weeks before he starts smelling again. So we'll see. We'll see. But so far, it's okay. We'll see where it goes. But thank you so much, and happy birthday again to you, Jarrell. Let's see. We got Natalie. What you got? Been outside, but made alive. What up, E-fam? Natalie, thank you so much for being here. Always enjoy having you here. So thank you so much for being here. Let's see. It's She Replay Gang about to watch Dune 2 in IMAX. Woo! You about to set yourself up for some greatness. That is fantastic. That I told y'all that's the best way to do it. I don't know how y'all can watch Dune 2 in anything less. I don't know how, but that right there is absolutely the best way to go about it. So yeah, good stuff on you, man. Let me know how you feel about it when you get done watching it. And also let me know what you think about the previous film too, because I think that kind of might affect how some people think, but anyway, let's see. Hold on now. Ms. Makiba, what you got here? Hey, EFAM, has EFAM seen Mario Van Peebles' Outlaw Posse? You're the second person to ask me about it. I have not seen it. I have not. But I don't know. It's on the radar, but I can't say that I've been really trying hard to go see it. I'll say that. But listen, if it stumbles on the radar, we'll see. But thank you so much, Ms. Makiba. And if anybody else has seen it, please feel free to let us know in the comments. Hold on, we got something here. Oh man, come on, low key coming through with the $25 cash app. Thank you so much. Says here, my dog trained me. It all worked out. Well, dang. Not the dog trained you though. But thank you so much, low key. It's because of supporters like you, I don't have to run ads throughout the live. So thank you once again for keeping this ad free. But thank you. All right. Let's see. What do we have? We got a couple updates here. We got just 2 little short updates on the movie update side. I didn't really see a lot of oh, wait, before I get into it. Sorry. I had to tell somebody, and y'all my friends. So I gotta tell y'all what I be seeing. Y'all know I like anime. I just started Solo Leveling. Wow. Like that first episode, Solo. Now I knew the manga was hitting. Because people was like, yo, this manga is great. This manga is going off. I don't read mangas. I don't really like going into mangas. I like waiting for the anime so I can binge through it. I started episode 1 of Solo Leveling, and I was like, I don't know. I got halfway through and I kind of paused it, right? And I was like, I don't know. I finished that episode and went into 2, and for some reason, episode 7, here I was. Like, I just blew through it. Let me tell you, that Solo Leveling got a lot of potential. If whoever makes Solo Leveling does not turn that into a video game, you are losing. You losing money by the day. If that does not get turned into a video game that I will purchase right now, yo. So yes, go ahead. If you man, Solo Leveling. What you say now? Hold on. Somebody said when you gonna get on Jujutsu Kaisen? So I'm already on Jujutsu Kaisen, but I stopped after, I think I'm on season 2. So I just took a pause on season 2. I'm at the part where they just got done doing that class on class in the woods whenever that was. So I'm behind. I know, but I binged through it. So I am on Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm caught up on Demon Slayer. I think I still need to finish a couple episodes of My Hero to get caught up. I just started Solo Leveling. I like anime. I like anime. So that was y'all little anime update. Totally just out there. So anyway, let's see. All right, Ms. McKeeby, y'all gotta go for people like me stuck in BFE. No. Now you know good and well you can go check it out. Why we gotta go see it for you now? You can go check it out. Let us know when you go see it. Let's see. Nisi, hey man, will you be watching Three Body Problem? I don't know. That's a good question. I know that's the show from the Game of Thrones creators, showrunners. I know it's coming on Netflix. I'll see it. You know, I haven't heard the best news about it though. Like some people that have seen it already, because I think it played at South by Southwest already. I don't know if it's really getting the most attention, but I'll check it out. Whenever it becomes available. So we'll see. But thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you guys. All right, let's do some quick hold on. What is this? Man, what is this? I can't even pronounce these. Okay, whatever these are, they are on Crunchyroll. I don't know what that is. I can't say those words. But thank you for that. Appreciate you. All right, let's get into some quick updates. So, we got one update here, and that is for what is it here? Ready Player One. I don't know if y'all remember this movie. Yeah, Tyler Sheridan. No, not Tyler Sheridan. I forget the kid's name. But you had basically all these cameos and everything. And I liked Ready Player One. I thought it was actually pretty decent. But it looks like here that Steven Spielberg, who directed the last one, the first one, said that there is a sequel that is in the works. However, this time he's only going to produce the film and not direct it. And just like that, you lost me. Just like that. Just like that. Now, Ready Player One wasn't like the greatest thing I'd ever seen, but it was pretty entertaining. Steven Spielberg, his worst movies still be decent movies, and I thought that this was pretty good. I think I gave it like an 8, maybe an 8.5. So I enjoyed the first movie, but if you're not going to direct it, man, I'm just saying that's a red flag right off the bat because I don't know. I'm just saying I need to wait and see more. But I don't know. How are y'all feeling about Ready Player One? Is that something that y'all enjoyed? Do you even want to see a sequel? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. And then we got another update here for the Batman. So the Batman Part 2. That one stars Robert Pattinson, directed by Matt Reeves. And this is, by the way, not included in the James Gunn DCU. This is also getting a sequel already, but we do have a quick update as to what is going on with the sequel, because that was supposed to be coming out next year, I believe. However, that ain't the case, because it says here the Batman 2 has been delayed a full year and will now be released October 2nd, 2026. And originally, this was going to come out October 2025. So, Batman is getting pushed back a whole year. And I think that this kind of, I don't know if this is a coincidence or not. But if you recall, in 2025, DC does have another movie coming out, which is James Gunn's Superman. Now, that one's coming out July 11th, 2025. So, it's possible that this delay could be set up to maybe give it a little bit more room. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. But either way, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the delay, because if this means that it gives Matt Reeves more time to cook, let him cook. I got no problem with filmmakers and studios taking more time to make sure things get done properly or make them even better. So hopefully that's one of the reasons why this is getting delayed. I don't believe we were actually given a reason why it was, but I'm hoping that they take this time just to give us a better product. So you guys let me know, how are you feeling about the Batman 2 getting delayed? Is this a movie that you were even checking for? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. Um all right. Let's see. Let's move on. Um mm, nah, let me change this real quick because I don't want to get that away. All right. So Scream. We know that with the Scream franchise, it's had its little comeback recently. I didn't really like Scream 5. I know some people did. I didn't really like it, and I still have not seen Scream 6. So I can't really comment on that. But for what it is, so far it seems as though people are enjoying it. So listen, if people like it, fine, great. Enjoy. I'm okay with that. But we have had a couple issues with the most recent news when it comes to the Scream franchise. We had the one of the lead actresses, Melissa Barrera. Remember, she had gotten into trouble. I believe it was because she started making comments about Israel, Palestine, or something like that. She was getting accused of anti-Semitism and all of that. So of course she's like trying to deny all of that now. But she was kind of let go. She was let go of the franchise, and it didn't make matters any better when Jenna Ortega, the other lead in the film, she also was not coming back. But this was really just because of her shooting schedule for Wednesday. Obviously, Wednesday's gonna take priority because listen, Wednesday's probably paying way more, and it's a bigger show, right? It's one of Netflix's top rated shows, maybe next to Squid Games or maybe even better. So obviously she knows where the priorities lie. Now, in addition to losing the two leads of the film, as you also probably recall, they also lost the main lead, the person that started all, Nev Campbell, who played Sydney, right? There was a whole dispute about whether she would come back or not. And one of the main reasons was she said, show me the money. And they was like, what money? We could sit here and pay these young actresses probably a fraction, and why we got to pay you more? So for whatever reason, they was just like, nah, we not gonna do it. So they lost Nev, they lost Jenna, they lost Melissa. And then on top of that, the director dropped out, the actual director from the last movie who was supposed to come back. So they've been having a whole lot of issues about this franchise, and it's kind of like, well, what you gonna do now? Well. What did Thanos say? Like you went through all this trouble, did all this stuff, and what did it do? It led you right back to me, because y'all, guess who's Bazak? Yes, that is right. Nev Campbell, the original Scream Queen, is back. Okay, she just said here on Tuesday that she will return as Sidney Prescott for the next film in the Scream franchise. She had posted this on her Instagram. She said, "My appreciation for these films and for what they have meant to me has never waned. I'm very happy and proud to say I've been asked in the most respectful way to bring Sydney back to the screen, and I couldn't be more thrilled." And by the way, I believe the original writer of the first Scream movie is going to be directing this for the first time. So they're bringing him back as the writer and director. Cool. Now I like how she said I was asked back in the most respectful way. That means they came with the checkbooks. That's respectful way, means they cut the check. That's what that means. They came back and said, "Hey, big head. Hi, hey Nev, how you doing? Yeah, so what you how much was you saying that you wanted for the Scream movie? We just, we got the checkbook right here, in case you just wanted to come back, maybe star as the lead, please help." Like, I know that's exactly how them producers came back, because they treated her bogus, trying to act like the lead face of your franchise was not worth paying the first time. Yeah, okay. They got that humble pie real fast. But listen, at the end of the day, I'm just happy that everything is worked out. I'm happy. If Nev is happy, I'm happy for her. So anyway, what do y'all think about Nev Campbell coming back to the Scream franchise, especially after they finally showed her the money? Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. Star Wars. So we got a Star Wars update. Now, y'all know the relationship with Star Wars feels very complicated, right? Yes, we get great TV shows. Star Wars will give us really solid TV shows. Mandalorian, the Clone Wars, Rebels, I like Ahsoka. You know what I'm saying? Like, now some things missed. Some things like Boba Fett miss. Half of Obi-Wan kind of miss. Half kind of hit. But I think that they've been delivering on the TV side. As for the movie side, it's been a struggle. What year is this? We are in 2024. Y'all remember the last Star Wars movie that hit the screen? That was 2018, 2019, Rise of Skywalker. I don't know about y'all, but I've literally tried to force myself to forget the entire last trilogy. Like, I don't even want it to count. I really don't, because it's just so ridiculous. So it's been almost 5 years, if not more, than the last billion-dollar franchise has put out a movie. Now, in the midst of all of that, how many movies have we heard were announced? Taika Waititi's going to do a Star Wars movie. Kevin Feige and this director and that director and the Russo brothers and all. Everybody and their mama was going to work on a Star Wars movie, and 5 years later, cap. Straight up cap, left and right. Not a thing. Then, more recently, we had Kathleen Kennedy come out, and then she had said that, we got James Mangold. He's going to do like a pre, Star Wars movie. We got a Rey movie coming out. We got, half of the money team, Dave Filoni. He's going to do like a movie by himself. And then more recently, we also heard that The Mandalorian, was also going to be a movie. Now, I think it's still a little confusing as to whether we're getting a movie and season 4, because, John Favreau did say that season 4 was already written. So whether they're converting season 4 into a movie, or maybe they're giving us the Mandalorian and Grogu movie and a season 4, we just have to wait and see. But it's like, look, I got trust issues either way. I got trust issues with Star Wars and whatever they announce. I don't believe nothing until I see a trailer. That's just the way I gotta go. Now, amongst all of these announced projects, and we gonna do it, we not gonna do it, one of the people that also was involved was Patty Jenkins. Now, Patty Jenkins, in case you forgot, she was the one that was in charge of the Wonder Woman franchise in the DCEU. She gave us the great first Wonder Woman movie, then the not so great Wonder Woman 84. So recently she had went on a podcast, I believe, and she went and talked about her project, which was what was it, Rogue Squadron, right? She was gonna do a fighter pilot Star Wars type of story, but that kind of went in the can as well. But she does go on and actually give us a update on what's going on with Rogue Squadron. She says here, when I left Star Wars to do Wonder Woman 3 and I started working on that, we talked about, well, maybe I'll come back to Star Wars after Wonder Woman 3. So we started a deal for that to happen. She goes on to say, when Wonder Woman 3 then went away, Lucasfilm and I were like, oh, we've got to finish this deal. We finished the deal right as the strike was beginning, so I now owe a draft of Star Wars. So we will see what happens here. Who knows? She also goes on to say, I am now back on doing Rogue Squadron. We'll see what happens. We need to get it to where we're both super happy with it. Rogue Squadron is still, by the way, not yet confirmed to officially happen. So all she's going to do is write a script. And my thing is this, I don't care. I don't care. Because I don't trust. I don't trust anything that's supposed to go on the big screen when it comes to Star Wars. We can count maybe 10 different projects that have been announced. And now all she's talking about is she owed them a script. And I saw people online like, oh man, we about to get the movie. You don't know that yet. You don't know that. She just said she gonna write a script. Didn't nobody say the movie was actually gonna happen. And even if they did say it was gonna happen, can you believe it? I can't. So, this all talk for now. And if I'm being even more honest, I don't know if I really care about a story about the pilots. Listen, I know y'all like Andor, some of y'all, all 5 of y'all. I get it. I need some lightsabers and I need the Force. This is what brought me to Star Wars. This is the meat and potatoes of Star Wars. I don't care about no political drama. I just don't. Listen, even Rogue One, which was a fantastic movie, really good. You saw what they did at the end. They still threw that red lightsaber in there at the very end. Gave us probably one of the most goated Darth Vader moments ever. So all I'm saying is, if this even happens, if it even happens, y'all gonna throw some lightsabers in there? Somebody gonna get the Force? Because if not, save it. I'm good. I don't need it. I'm just saying. But anyway, y'all let me know, what do you think about Rogue Squadron? Is this something that you would look forward to if it even happens? Or maybe you don't care at all. I don't know. Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right, we're gonna shift from Star Wars and let's make a little pivot. Let's go to DC. So DCU, James Gunn is actively, he's a hard working man right now because he is working on Superman, as you know. But he's also working on Peacemaker. Now, Peacemaker season 1 was really successful, at least. It was one of the top rated shows on HBO Max when it came out. I enjoyed it. I liked Peacemaker season 1. I thought it was pretty cool. I think this is a great role for John Cena to really flourish in. He can do his comedic stuff and just do his thing like with no problem. So I really enjoyed Peacemaker, but with the whole introduction of the DCU, a lot of questions have been asked about like, well, how does this fit in? What is Peacemaker gonna like? How does this work in the DCU? Because Peacemaker kind of came in during the DCEU, so it was kind of like, what are you doing? Are you gonna keep it? Are you not gonna keep it? So James Gunn has clarified that, and he's also given us a couple other updates about what's gonna happen in the DCU, especially after Superman. I was gonna call it Legacy, after the Superman movie comes out. So we got a couple updates here from James Gunn himself. So let's kind of get to it. He says here, like, yes, we'll be shooting Superman and Peacemaker simultaneously. And yes, I've written all the episodes, but no, in the interest of getting the show out there, I won't be able to direct them all, only some. And yes, Waller's still happening, but the schedule was impacted by the strikes, so it'll come after Peacemaker. All right, so let's kind of break that up. So they're shooting Peacemaker and Superman at the same time. Great. That just means that we can get this stuff out there, hopefully closer together. And he's written all the episodes. Now, I think that that's a positive thing if you like James Gunn's style. So that means that whatever you get from Peacemaker, that's coming from James Gunn's brain. The tone, the comedy, the drama, all of that is coming from him. So if you don't like his style, you're not gonna like Peacemaker season 2. Now, he does say that he's not directing all the episodes, so that's a, that's not usually uncommon. A lot of times, the main showrunner or the main person behind it will direct like maybe the first episode, maybe a cliffhanger, middle episode, and then the season finale. So that's not a big deal. They'll mix up the tones with different directors. Cool. Now for the Waller situation, that's the one with Viola Davis. She's coming back and she's getting her own show on HBO Max. And they at least are giving an update here saying that it's still happening. But as we know, a lot of things did get delayed because of the actors and writers strike. So that was just one of the consequences from it. But there's still the question of what about Peacemaker and how does this fit into the DCU, or does it at all? Gunn also revealed that Peacemaker season 2 will be set after the events of Superman. And he goes on here, and this is him, I believe, on Threads. Says, yes, it takes place after Superman. Somebody asked, well, does that mean including season 1? He says season 1 is not canon. It's not canon. So no, so in other words, whatever happened in season 1, it's just not going to count. And season 2 is just going to take place after the events or whatever happens after Superman. Now, I have one real issue with this. I like the idea that, yes, you're going to keep, Peacemaker in there. It's a character that kind of worked. Fine, whatever. I disagree with the idea of James Gunn keeping Peacemaker as a season 2 and making that season 2 canon, but not season 1. Personally, I think that it's a little confusing, probably for mainstream audiences or general audiences. I think it would be better to kind of do what Marvel did with Daredevil and just call it something else. Just say Peacemaker Reborn. I don't know. Peacemaker, Quest for Peace, whatever, but just start it over. Because if you start it over, then people will be like, oh, okay, that's Peacemaker, but it's going to be a little different. Because if you recall, at the end of season 1 of Peacemaker, they do have a very strong DCEU connection. So I understand why it's not connected and not canon, but I'm just sitting here wondering, like, wouldn't it just be easier to just kind of softly reboot it? Like, it's not a real hard reboot, but you're gonna need to connect it to the DCU, and it's already got hard connections to the DCEU. I don't know, but we'll see. He goes on, he has some more that he says here. Answering this again, to be clear, Peacemaker season 2 will take place after the events of Superman. Somebody asked, is that important? Meaning events of Superman will have an impact on Peacemaker, and he says straight up, yes. So whatever happens in Superman is going to propel whatever happens next in Peacemaker. Now, there could be a caveat because Superman is bringing a lot of new characters onto the big screen, and it appears as though it's not going to be like an origin story. It looks like it's going to take place with a younger Superman, but he's already got his job at the at the newspaper, and he's already been Superman. But the fact that we're getting Mr. Terrific, we're getting Green Lanterns, we're getting all these other characters, it sounds like other things, other comic booky things are going to be happening. So I wonder, will time travel be involved? Is there going to be something that happens and maybe that helps Peacemaker do a soft reboot? I don't know. But I don't know. You guys let me know. What do you think about these DCU updates and Peacemaker. Did you enjoy Peacemaker? Are you looking forward to Peacemaker season 2? How do you feel about it not really being canon? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. All right. Silent, what you got? I need a black man Jedi. Listen, I've already told y'all, bring Mace Windu back. You know, let's go to Planet Windu. Let's do it. Okay, Star Wars, we can do this. It's not gonna be hard. Like, I'll take them all. Let's go. I mean, we did get one in what was that? Ahmad Best. You know, he did come back, so that was cool. But I mean, that's TV. I want him back on the big screen. You know what I'm saying? So we can like actually get that global presence. You know, don't be hiding the Black Jedi only on the TV where not a lot of people even watch. Put them on the big screen, okay? And justice for Finn, by the way. All right, thank you so much. Let's see, JN. I guess Cat Williams was right about Hollywood. See John Cena at the Oscars. All jokes aside, Peacemaker was a good series. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I agree. And I only skimmed the Oscars. I didn't really watch it. I saw who won and stuff like that. But I didn't really care. Listen, Hollywood is gonna Hollywood. That's all. That's all. Hollywood is always going Hollywood. All right. Just give me a second here. Venom 3 is still gonna happen. I don't know why it's still happening, but it's still happening. I think I've already let you guys know that I'm not a big fan of the Venom series at all. Venom 1, I can see how some people like it, but I also thought that it was kind of fluky. Venom 2 was absolutely atrocious. It was a terrible movie. And it wasted one of the best opportunities to actually be seen on screen. And now we have an update on their new title. It says here, Venom finally has a title, and it's called Venom: The Last Dance. Also, Sony has moved this film up by like a week or so to October 25th instead of November 8th. Where do we begin? Why are we getting this a week earlier? You could also just cancel the movie, but okay. Why are they calling this The Last Dance? I'm starting to believe. I know we joke about it. I know we have fun about it. But I'm really starting to believe that Sony is actively trolling us. I really am. I mean, first time, okay. Y'all tried Venom. You made some money. I get it. You gonna want to cash in. I totally get it. You made Morbius. Morbius didn't work out. But then you re-released it even after it flopped. I'm like, did y'all really just not get the joke? Y'all really thought people was rocking with you and that's why you re-released it? All right, whatever. You decide to make and release Madam Web. And here's the thing, you go get the same people that were involved with your last flop that you re-released and flopped again to make Madam Web. What did my man say in Succession? You guys are not serious people. Like, I cannot take y'all seriously when it comes to live action films that are Spider-Man spinoffs. I cannot take y'all seriously. Shout out to the Spider-Verse movies, because those things are fantastic. Shout out to Marvel holding y'all hand and helping y'all make a Billy every single time. But my goodness, when y'all are left by yourselves, where's the nanny cam? Where's the babysitter? Because y'all out here running amok. The Last Dance? Who approved this? Like, what happened? Y'all saw Morbius flop. Y'all saw Madam Web flop. And y'all took that personally? Is that what made y'all say this is going to be the last dance? And if you don't really get why I'm frustrated with this, let me tell y'all, because sometimes I need y'all to understand the definition of red flags. Okay? I need y'all to understand this. Sometimes you have to look behind the scenes to really understand what they about to put in front of you. I told y'all, you always have to see the read between the lines. Now check this out. Kelly Marcel will make her feature directorial debut with Venom 3. She also wrote the screenplay from a story she developed with Tom Hardy. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't think y'all understand. I don't think y'all understand. This is Kelly Marcel. This is her. Kelly Marcel was the writer for Venom and the writer for Venom 2. And Tom Hardy is also writing it with her. When is Sony gonna learn? You took the people from one flop and put them on another movie. Then you took the people from your last flop, Venom 2, and y'all putting them in charge of Venom 3, and you're letting them direct for the first time? Y'all are not serious people. You're not serious. The first Venom, one of the problems was the writing. The second Venom didn't even make sense. It was stupid. And y'all about to give the keys to the whole kingdom to this young lady and say, hey, you know what? Won't you go ahead and direct it too? There is a small possibility that maybe she learned her lesson. Maybe she's a fantastic director and we just don't know it because this is her first time. But I can't help but to have trust issues with the studio that has already demonstrated to me on 2 different projects that they don't know what they're doing creatively behind the scenes. Why y'all got Tom Hardy writing this too? He was involved with anyone involved with writing the last Venom movie should not be in place to write the next Venom movie. Wouldn't you think? That last movie didn't do too well. You know what we should do? Probably get people that know what they're doing. Nah, Johnson, you're fired. You know what we are going to do? We're going to hire the same people that flopped. How is this not a troll? How are they not trolling us? Haven't I? Ooh, listen. I'm trying very hard. Please be wise with your money. That's what I'm going to tell y'all. I'm not going to tell y'all what to do, but I'm going to ask y'all. I'm going to plead with y'all. Please be wise with your money, because this is the only thing that Sony cares about at this point. Right now, I still think that they're playing with the house money. I think Sony is very comfortable with the money that Marvel is making them, the billions, and they like, man, we made $1 billion. We could just go ahead and take a risk with this and that. And if it flop, it flop. But please be wise with your money. Okay. I spent too much time on this. What do y'all think about Venom's new title? What do you think? I don't even think it's going to be the last thing. That's why I'm very upset about this, because I feel like they're going to troll us and be like, sorry, guess who's back? Venom 4. Anyway, what do y'all think about this whole Venom thing? What do you think about, who's going to write and direct it? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. JN, E-Man just went into disappointed dad mode. Yes. Because I can... What makes me nervous about this is if the movie is terrible and it makes money because people are just curious. That's what, and I'm more than positive we gonna see the normal red flags. We made it for the fans. They don't let us review the movie until the day of release. The trailers spoil everything because they got to show whatever they can to get you in. I'm afraid all these things are going to happen again because for whatever reason, it does not look like Sony learns from any of their mistakes. I don't get it. I don't get. Ooh. Sorry. I don't get it. Mr. Mitchell, Venom saved the last thing. Might as well. Because at this point, 60, Coleman Domingo should have won for Best Actor Oscars 2024. Listen, I fully support Brother Coleman. I think he's a phenomenal actor. But like I said in my predictions, I didn't think he was gonna win it. You have to think about the makeup of the Academy. They wasn't gonna give it to him. If it was a supporting role, they would do that, but they're not gonna give it to him. But yeah, he would have had my vote. That's fine. Thank you so much. Nelson, maybe Craven will make Sony money. Yeah, okay. Sure will. That's what they hope. That's what they hope. And my thing is this though, like what bothers me with Craven is that the bar is so low. After Madam Web, let's be honest, that bar is so low that if Sony ends up giving y'all a movie that's like, let's say a 6 out of 10, people gonna be like, you know what? That wasn't too bad. No. Don't fall for it. Because even Craven might mess around and be like a 6.5, something like that. That ain't enough to make up. When you've been getting F minuses for the past couple semesters, yo D plus ain't about to make you pass all of a sudden. It's just not gonna do it. So whatever. I'm sure they hope that Craven will do it, but we'll see. Let's see. Puma, Sony is pulling a WB tax write-off with Venom. That'd be nice. Listen, this would be the one time I wish that would happen. Go ahead. This would be a great time. Y'all want to write off movie? Go for. I would support it. I would support that wholeheartedly. Oh my God. Minister, I'm sure Nelson V will catch this one up. Wow. Wow. Nelson with the comeback. Nah, Minister Crush. Haven't watched any Venom movie. I think I'm okay with this. I'll allow that. I will allow that. You're good, Nelson. You're good. I will allow that. That is fine. That is very, very okay. Thank y'all for that. I appreciate y'all. All right, let's move on. Oh, okay, listen. We're gonna stay on Sony. We got a couple things to talk about with Sony. I am not a bully. I do not go chasing just to bash people or bash companies, but things just pop up and things are the news, and I'm going to report on them and give y'all my thoughts on it. Speaking of Sony, y'all remember in Morbius, one of the dumbest things that happened was they had, Michael Keaton's character come in and show up at the end. And at that time, Michael Keaton, I remember, was kind of like, what's this mean? Like, he didn't know. He didn't get it. But whatever. I kind of chalked that up to, listen, despite being the GOAT Batman, maybe he just didn't understand the multiverse and all that stuff. Okay, fine. That happens. It's comics. Every actor is not going to be privy to every single thing that happens. That's okay. But this really didn't make sense. Having Vulture show up made no sense because the Vulture that we saw in Morbius was like, yeah, I don't like Spider-Man. What you want to do? You want to kill him? Yeah, let's get him, And it was weird because the Vulture we had just seen from Homecoming was kind of like, no, I'm good with Spider-Man. Like, he's fine. He knew his identity and everything. It was like, no, I'm not going to give him up. So I think we was all kind of confused of like, why is he here? Like, what is happening here? Well, Michael Keaton just recently appeared on a podcast and he shed a little bit more insight onto his state of confusion at the time. And he was reflecting on the scene, admitting that he never understood it from the start. But that's not all. That is not all. He said, no idea, none, zero, when he was asked about if he understood the scene. And even they couldn't quite explain it. Yes, Sony could not explain it. He said, look, let me just kind of tell you. And I go, okay. And I really don't quite know what you're talking about or even who some of these people are. And he said, oh, okay. Sony said, all right, let me explain. But it was complicated because they're always looking down the road. Now, Sony said, here's how it's going to work. Here's what's going to happen here. And Keaton was like, okay, I'm in. Let's just try it. How are y'all not going to know how things work in your own film franchise? You couldn't even explain it to one of your actors in some way, shape, or form? So let me get this straight. Your actor was confused why he was even there and what he was even doing. We were confused as to why this character even popped up. And it looks like y'all was confused as to what y'all were even doing. Did y'all even have a plan? What were y'all about to do down the line? How are we supposed to trust you if the people can't even trust the process? Like, this is like, seriously. This is really starting to get ridiculous out here. So Sony couldn't even explain to its own actor why this character was going to be. You don't even have to be like giving away the whole game plan. You don't have to say, oh, well, Vulture might come back in the Sinister Six and, multiverse. You couldn't even explain none of that. This company is starting to become very laughable. And not in a funny haha way, but almost like a laugh. Like, I have to laugh to keep from crying at how bad y'all are getting, because I really don't understand this level of commitment to mediocrity and below. I don't understand it. It's like y'all are trying to just be terrible. And a lot of these things are very avoidable. No one's saying you shouldn't take risks. No one's saying that you shouldn't try different things. But golly, it seems like the most basic stuff y'all just be escaping y'all. Hire creative directors. Woo. Get good writers. Not today. Don't re-release a flop. Ha. Not happening now. What are y'all doing? It's like y'all sleep in red flags, just nice and cozy. Just red flag, keep me warm. Is that how y'all sleep at night? Whew. Anyway, what do y'all think about Michael Keaton not knowing what the hell was going on Morbius? And to make things worse, even the producers or the filmmakers couldn't tell him nothing either. Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. Puma, blindfold, check, spin him around, check, now throw. Yeah, apparently at this point, that's why I feel like they writers' room is like, what are we doing? Madam Web, Disco Inferno, El Muerto. They don't have no plan. They don't have no plan. Now I told y'all we was gonna stay on Sony. I told y'all we was gonna stay on Sony. And now it seems like Sony's getting in their feelings. Because listen, ever since Madam Web came out, I told y'all, we just talked about it last week, about how the main actress, Dakota Johnson, has been out here ripping this movie, right? We talked about how she dropped her talent agency because she thought the movie was going to be one thing, came to find out she had gotten bamboozled and it wasn't what she thought it was. She talked about how she understood the negative reviews. Listen, she has not been very kind to the movie outside of just not calling it trash. Now, I've told y'all that I found this very refreshing because most of the time when actors or actresses are, in the middle of a movie that is still in theaters, they have to keep promoting it, until a certain time period. By the way, Madam Web is now available digitally. Feel free. Don't. So I like the fact that she was like just being honest with it straight up from the jump. We also talked about how Sydney Sweeney, who was the other actress in the film, how she was, on SNL, she was cracking jokes, talking about like, ha ha ha, y'all see me in all this other stuff, but you ain't see me in Madam Web. Ha ha ha. Okay. She was cracking the jokes. Now, here's one little quick thing she had mentioned about Madam Web. And it was in a different interview, but she said when they asked her about her career's current trajectory, and she was like, yo, she's kind of unfazed about the Madam Web thing. And she just said, I was just hired as an actress in it. So I was just going along for the ride for whatever was going to happen. Listen, I love that. She was like, listen, they paid me some money. I showed up, I clocked in, I read my lines, I put on the costume, I took some pictures, and I went home. I don't care about this movie. I love it. I love it. Love it. Stuff like this is making me a fan of Sydney Sweeney. Just love the fact that she can joke about the movie. I love how honest she is about it. She don't care about this movie. She don't care about this at all. But that ain't what's getting Big Sony mad. It's actually more of Dakota Johnson is getting them mad. Now, this is according to some insider who, I guess is more familiar with what was going on at Sony. So, take this with a grain of salt. But this is what they were saying about her. They said, now Dakota is reportedly being accused of dragging the film and failing to take any responsibility after admitting she hadn't seen the film herself, before going on to make several damning statements about the production. Now, first of all, a lot of actors don't actually see the movies that they're in. Christian Bale is like that. He just doesn't like to watch a lot of his own movies. Fine, whatever. I'm not saying that's the same reason or that, Dakota has, but she was just like, whatever. I'll get to it when I get to it. But she's been reacting to the reactions and reviews about the movie more so than anything. And, I think that's fair. What difference does it make if she's seen the movie and let's say she personally liked it, if the vast majority of people don't? What difference does it make? She would only look more foolish going up there talking about like, no, but this is one of the greatest superhero movies I'd ever seen. Remember when people said that about another movie that flopped flashingly? So I fully support everything she said so far. Now, let's go back to the insider. It said lots of people at Sony are questioning her star power, and how she reacted to this failure will likely come back to haunt her. First of all, what star power? What are y'all talking about? What star power? Dakota is known for two things. And I hate to use the term, but being a Nepo baby, okay? And for 50 Shades of Grey. Her daddy was an actor. What was it? Don Johnson, I believe. Shout out Miami Vice. Dad was an actor. So you got connections. And, in 50 Shades wasn't bad. Outside of that, what star power are you talking about? This starts to lead me down that street again, that road of Sony. I have to question, do y'all know what y'all be doing? Y'all thought she had star power in the first place? And you think now she's going to lose it because she's talking against a movie that didn't nobody care for? I'm just saying the level of perception to reality is really starting to make me question even more. It goes on to say, it is okay to joke about your movie not doing well and even lean into the bad reviews like Sydney Sweeney did on SNL with her monologue. But producers and Sony aren't laughing over Dakota's continued dragging of how she sees the fallout of Madam Web and how she isn't taking any responsibility for its lackluster results. Not every movie is going to work, but a lot of hard work is put towards even bad movies, and for you to crap on it is it is a bad look. And they go on to say Dakota is being looked down on over her talk of the film because everyone in the production is thinking, what if the movie was still the same but also a box office gem? Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all mad at her because you want her to take more responsibility for the film not doing well, but y'all not gonna sit here and look at the man in the mirror? Y'all the ones that put the film together. Y'all hired a terrible set of creators. If anything, before you get mad at Dakota, y'all should be mad at yourself. Look at yourself. You the problem. What kind of producer did you have in charge of this movie? Jupiter Ascending? Snake Eyes? Y'all remember that guy? That was the same guy that was behind that. And then you took the writers from Morbius and put them on the same movie? Sony, y'all should be the only ones mad at yourself. Don't look at nobody else. Don't talk to all producers, all Sony executives. Don't point the finger at nobody else and be mad at nobody else. Actors are only there to act. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the acting was the greatest, but I wouldn't say that it's what hurt the movie. The acting did not hurt the movie. It wasn't the best, but it didn't hurt it. The writing was laughable. The directing was even dumber. But the last thing you're going to need to look at and point the finger at is the actor. Y'all have to start at the top. Matter of fact, I'm still waiting for a public apology from Sony for the past couple movies. You sitting here behind the scenes mad at Dakota Johnson. We deserve an apology. You had people mistakenly go and pay for these movies, and y'all didn't put any real effort. I'm really wondering, could a class action lawsuit be levied? I have to ask these questions because I've seen too many movie studios, not saying everything got to be a hit, but when things don't go right, you see them try to do better. I have not seen that from Sony. When you keep recycling the same people that keep giving you the same bad product, and then you keep asking people to pay the same money, I'm starting to wonder, do you need to get sued or not? Is this a troll job or not? I don't make it make sense because it ain't making dollars. And y'all got the nerve to be mad at her? And they gonna sit here and talk about, well, what if the movie made a lot of money and you know, and it was the same movie? Oh, you mean like Venom? You mean still having a bad movie but yet make a lot of money? You think that was gonna make a difference? First of all, why y'all even comfortable with that hypothetical? Y'all more worried about the box office than you are the quality of the film. That speaks volumes to me. Who cares how much the movie made? Why don't y'all just focus on making good movies? Why don't y'all focus on hiring smart, creative, qualified people? Why don't y'all focus on that? Because if y'all do that from the top, everything else is going to trickle down. You make a great movie, guess what? People going to talk about it. Your actor's going to promote it. The money is going to come rolling in. It's all good, baby. Y'all worried about the wrong stuff. At the end of the day, Sony, you guys are worried about the wrong stuff. Don't worry about Dakota Johnson, okay? First of all, why'd y'all even hire her? Second of all, why'd you even make Madam Web? Nobody asked for it. Listen, all that, the buck stops with y'all. Y'all hired her, and now you mad at the end product? Yeah. Anyway, guys, what do you think about Sony just out here being Sony? Whatever you think, please feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Get on my nerves. They are legit getting on my nerves. That's all the Sony we got. I don't think we got no more Sony. I don't want to do it no more. No more. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to download this for y'all real quick. Hold on. Let me, because I want to get this for y'all. Give me 1 second, because I feel like it's better if we watch it than me just read it to y'all. Give me 1 second. Oh, guess that's not going to happen. Okay. Never mind. Thought I could get it for you. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. Let me get this. I got to get another link for y'all. So I was going to get a video to play, but that's not working right now. So whatever. All right. I got comments I gotta read. I'm sorry. Ms. Makiba, dang, Monique just stayed home not to promote. Listen, did something else happen? Did something else happen? Oh, thank you. Appreciate you. Rhonda, her mom is Melanie Griffith. Go figure. Oh, is she? Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, so she real Nepo baby is, huh? Okay. Thank you for that. Didier, what you got? So Dakota had the main villain ADR, so he looked like an 80s kung fu. Yeah, apparently so. Apparently that was the game plan. I don't know why though. I don't know why. Boss, what you got? It's giving Marvel trying to shame Scarlet. Sony won't own their own bad management and behavior. Yeah, I do remember when now to be fair, it was Disney. It was Disney trying to shame Scarlet, not Marvel. Marvel was cool. Marvel was like, "What are you doing? Shut up. Shut up. Stop. Leave her alone." Marvel was hands off on it. That was Disney. That was Bob Chapek that was coming out. But same energy. Yes, same energy. Yes. Natalie, off topic. Would you review Love is Blind? You know, I never really watched Love is Blind. So I think I've seen a couple episodes from I don't know, season 4. So I couldn't name nobody. I don't know nobody. I've never really watched. So if I ever did, and I probably won't just because I don't have time. But if I ever did, I would probably start all over. Because how many episodes, how many seasons is it? Is it like 4, 5, 6? I don't know. But I've heard of Love is Blind. I haven't really gotten into it. So I apologize. I'm sorry. Zia said I ain't missed nothing but mess. But yeah, I mean, listen, I've heard good things. It sounds very entertaining. I missed the boat. I'm sorry. All right, let's see. Oh, snaps. Hold on. I gotta say thank you so much to the homie Terrence. Thank you, brother, for the $20 cash app. Said for the replay gang. Shout out to the replay gang. Oh, y'all always holding it down. Thank you so much for that. All right. What else? Oh god, something in my eyeballs. All right, what are we doing? Professor X. All right, so sorry. Given the fact that X-Men 97 coming back, mutants are back in the MCU. All right, great. So now the real question is, who gonna play Professor X and Magneto? You know, we've had a lot of people out there talking about it, a lot of people doing their fan casting and stuff. But one popular thing that's gone out there was people have always wanted, or at least talked about, potentially race swapping the characters, making them black, right? Because with the whole time frame and everything, it would probably make a little bit more sense. And two people that have been put out there have been Denzel Washington and Giancarlo Esposito. So now I personally would be very okay with this if they did this. But I have apprehensions of making Denzel Magneto, only because Magneto is a character that we would kind of need to see for a while. And I don't know. I know he's done the Equalizer sequels, but he's not really known for doing sequels, and I don't know how committed he would be to staying in Marvel. So maybe if it's like a one-off thing, maybe if it's like a alternate universe or something, and Magneto's there and he happens to be black, cool, let's have Denzel in there. But one thing that I've tried to tell folks, and I made a whole video about it before, I told y'all that Giancarlo would be fantastic as Professor X. I know that he can play the bad guy role very easily. His role in The Boys, his famous role as Gus in Breaking Bad, we know he can play the bad guy in his sleep. But playing Professor X, I think, would be a really, really good opportunity for us to see how good of an actor he really is. So now he was asked about this possibility of, what would it be like to work with Denzel and all of that. And let's see, he said, did they have the quote? Yes, he says when he was asked about it, he says, I think that would be great. It would be great. So he's down. He's totally down with having himself and Denzel be on the same screen and go at it like that, as these two powerful mutants. Now, he did have a little bit more to say about if he were to play Professor X. He had some thoughts on what that would entail, and what he would have to do in the role. So let's kind of go here. Yes, okay, let's go here and see what he had to say. He says, I've given it a cursory glance. Oh, I'm sorry. He said, I give it a cursory glance in my brain, and immediately I go, it would be great to play Professor X in some other incarnation that just the wheelchair, right? Because the physical idea of being in a wheelchair every single day does not appeal to me. I just don't feel that old, and I don't like to sit that much. Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Two things. Two things. Now, sir, Professor X stays in a wheelchair. That's if we're talking about mainstream 616, Professor X, he's in a wheelchair. However, if you've been keeping up with the more recent comics, Krakoa and all of that stuff, Professor X he's up there now. He's not always in a wheelchair anymore, right? So it is possible, if we're going to some alternate universe, if we're doing something with the multiverse, maybe Professor X is up and about walking and stuff. And you know what? If you go and race swap him, I'm just saying, if Marvel does that, I'm not saying they have to, but if they do, cool. Let him walk. Let him stand up. It's not going to be that big of a deal, because him being paralyzed was not always his defining factor. It didn't make or break who Charles Xavier was, right? So it's okay if he does walk, if it's an alternate version. And clearly, if he's black, that's obviously an alternate version. So I'm okay with it if they want to go that route. Like I already said, I think Giancarlo would be fantastic as Professor X. I'm just I'm a little iffy if Denzel is going to be committed to playing Magneto more than once. Listen, Denzel is a producer, he is a director, and he's still out there acting. I think he just got done doing Gladiator 2. So like he's got a lot of stuff going on, and Magneto's a pretty big character. So I don't know if I don't even know if Marvel can afford Denzel. I don't even know if that can happen, but I don't know. You guys let me know. What do you think about Professor X, walking? What do you think about Giancarlo Esposito playing Professor X? What do you think about Denzel potentially playing Magneto? Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Angel, thank you so much. Have you seen the Crow trailer? Yes, I have. I actually was going to play the trailer for us today, but copyrights, they don't want to play nice. So I said, forget y'all then, y'all little funky crows. But it was okay. It was okay. The only thing I'm a little disappointed in is clearly it's violent. It's way more violent than the original. But the only thing I was disappointed in, I was like, where's the white paint? Like, I thought he was supposed to be like pale. Y'all just got this brother out here with no sun tan. Like, he just ain't tan. That's all. Saying, like, get the white paint and the face paint. I saw they got the face paint a little later. I'm just saying that was literally one of the most distinctive qualities of the Crow, was the fact that he came back all white, and they didn't do that. So I was a little disappointed with that. I was a little disappointed. But the trailer did look solid. Looks fine. I'll definitely check it out. Let's see, Miss Makiba coming through. Giancarlo is in The Gentleman on Netflix. I have to watch that. I have to watch The Gentleman. I have not gotten a chance to yet. But yeah, I will definitely go check that out. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. I wanted I want my crow to be a little bit more on the pale side, you know. This time they was just like, yeah, just stay inside for a couple days. You'll be all right. Come on, man. That's not gonna work. All right, what do we have here? We got a couple topics left. Deadpool 3. So, Deadpool and Wolverine, we do have another update here for that. In case y'all haven't heard, Deadpool and Wolverine is going to probably be one of the most anticipated movies, at least on the superhero realm, for this year. It's one of my highest anticipated films. But the one thing that I am super, super excited about is the fact that we don't know very much about it. Last week, we talked about how, it was revealed that there were a lot of surprises, in store. We also found out that Ryan Reynolds knew about Hugh Jackman coming back and basically sat on that secret for years. And that to me is a beautiful thing because I absolutely love the fact that in the Deadpool movies, one of the funnest aspects were the cameos. Is that, listen, let's be honest. Deadpool is not a deep movie. This is not a movie that we're gonna be like, oh my gosh, the story was so rich and the plot was so this and that. It's not about that. It's never really been about that. Like, it's a simple, fun, violent franchise that will poke fun at itself, poke fun at other things. Listen, nobody was talking about superhero landings until Deadpool. So Deadpool has a certain place in the cinematic universe that I definitely appreciate. But it seems like we have a little bit more update and insight as to what's going to happen. Now, this is from Karan Sony. So I finally I know what his name sounds like now. So he was playing Dopender in the franchise. But he actually came out and said a little bit more. We heard last time he was like, oh, there's a lot of people that travel to London that are clearly going to be cameoing in this movie. But he had even more insight as to what we can expect in Deadpool and Wolverine. He says here, I can say that I think it'll be really good, this movie. And from my little experience of my part in it, it's definitely Ryan Reynolds taking full advantage of the MCU and playing with all the toys. It also feels like it's coming at a perfect time for the MCU because it's ready for a little bit of a shakeup, and he's definitely shaking it up. And so I think like this is great that it's coming at this time, and they're very willing to make fun of themselves, which is important. So that right there, I absolutely love. And what he's saying very nicely is that the MCU has been lacking. It hasn't been doing very well. Phase 4 overall had a couple decent things, but overall was a disappointment. So when he talks about shake it up, yeah, you mean inject a little juice. Okay, the MCU got to get jacked up. Okay, just go ahead, turn that thigh to the side, and go ahead and put that injection in and juice that sucker up because the MCU needs. So I'm not saying it's on life support, not saying that, but it can use a little protein shake. You know what I'm saying? It can use a little Red Bull, a little 5-hour energy. You can use a little something. So I like the fact that they are aware of that. And I agree. It should be able to make fun of itself. I mean, She-Hulk did that. She-Hulk came in and kind of made fun of the whole, MCU a little bit and all of that. So, let's see. I think Deadpool, if anybody, especially another person that could break the fourth wall, that could be pretty interesting. And I'm still waiting. And I'm really hoping, can we get She-Hulk and Deadpool to show up in the same film? I'm just saying, if we're talking about making a fantastic cameo in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, She-Hulk coming in would be an amazing thing. Guys, do y'all really understand? We only have 2 characters right now in the MCU that can break the fourth wall. I would love to see a conversation between them just talking to us. talking about regular stuff, talking about the state of the MCU, talking about their movies, talking about things that we like. It would be amazing. And we absolutely need She-Hulk and Deadpool to show up. I would be here for it. But we do have a little bit more here from Sony. So he does talk about basically meeting Kevin Feige. He said that the Marvel boss was thrilled to work closely with the team as they weave the MCU into Deadpool's world and capitalize on all the resources and IP that it would provide. He goes on to say, it was just like this was so different for me because we didn't get a script or anything. It was very secretive. He then goes on and says, and then Ryan is definitely like, calling Kevin Feige out a lot at the moment. There's a lot of Kevin Feige jokes in the movie. You have to have a good sense of humor, and he does. So that's cool. I love it. I love two things from both of these things. One, I love the fact that this movie is so secretive. The fact that the actors are not even getting the scripts until a day before, that to me lets me know that y'all are really doing your best to keep these leaks and stuff on, like, just be tight with it. And by the way, I need to take a moment. Hold on. Because I had this gripe the other day and I wanted to talk about it, because what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to reveal what the Deadpool leak was. Now, there were not too long ago, we saw Ryan Reynolds. He was like, yo, don't, reveal any leaks, like, be cool about it, whatever. I'm asking all y'all YouTubers and all y'all websites, and I'm going to call y'all out, especially you, giant freaking robot. Stop leaking potential Deadpool rumors. Please stop. Here's the problem. Whether it's true or not, it does not serve to the best interest of us, the movie people, the movie audience. Even if you're somebody who doesn't care about spoilers, nothing good is going to happen by having things spoiled for you. Because if it's not true, then you are going to get your hopes up about this thing that could happen, but it didn't happen. And if it was true, then what's going to happen? You're going to go into this movie, find out that this thing was true. It was supposed to be a surprise. It's no longer a surprise. And what's going to happen? You're going to be sitting there thinking, oh, y'all don't have nothing else? Well, the movie was trying to promise you a surprise, but you allowed yourself to get spoiled, or the spoiler was out there. So now you're left with nothing. So once again, if you're a YouTuber, a website, whoever, stop spoiling these things for us. It does not help, all for the sake of a couple of clicks, a couple of views. Let me try and help y'all even more. It's not hard to talk around a spoiler or a rumor. All you have to do is say, hey, this popular actor could show up as this popular character in the Deadpool movie. Want to find out more? Watch my video. Want to find out more? Click and read our article. Why don't you work around these things rather than putting it out there, making a big old thumbnail? Because guess what? For those of us that like to mind our business, we can't unsee the stupid thumbnail that you just created. And I'm not going to talk about the one that recently was leaked or was recently talked about, because I actually care about other people having a positive experience in the movies. But y'all are out here being ridiculous. And I will urge some of y'all, if you guys just want to have a good time with Deadpool, because I'm telling you, it's not going to be a movie that's going to be deep on story. Clearly, a lot of the comedy, a lot of the fun stuff that's going to happen in the movie is going to rely on surprises. So if you take the surprises away, you're automatically limiting your own personal enjoyment of the film. I told y'all before, whether you care about spoilers or not, you cannot be unsurprised. Once that's taken away, it's gone. So please tell those websites, tell those YouTube channels, all of them. I don't care how many million subscribers they got. I don't care how big they are. Stop being thirsty for the clicks and views. Stop ruining these things for us. Stop putting these things in your thumbnails. It's ridiculous and it needs to stop. I'm sorry. I had to get that off my chest because it bothers me so much. I just saw one of those stupid rumors and I was just sitting here like, what am I supposed to do with this? What am I supposed to do with this? Now I know this supposed actor may or may not be in the movie, and whether they're in it or not, it's already ruined. It's already stupid. It's ruined. And for what? A couple of clicks? Giant freaking robot. Yes, I'm calling y'all out. Y'all should be ashamed. I hope y'all got all 10 clicks off of that thing. Golly. Get on my nerves, man. For real. It's like, can we just have this movie? All the rumor leakers out there, all the people that are inside it, can we just have this movie? Please. That's all I'm asking. Y'all want to go? Listen, hey, go ruin Venom: The Last Dance. Please, can we make that trade? I will trade y'all Deadpool and Wolverine, and y'all don't say nothing about it, but y'all can spoil the mess out of Venom: The Last Dance. Please, can we make that change? Can we make the trade? Golly. It's like this is why we can't have nice things. Because these sites be out here so thirsty for clicks. Stop! Anyway, I also liked the fact that Kevin Feige was being a very good sport about this. You know, my man is on the set. Listen, I already told you I met Kevin twice. You know, I already told y'all he's the nicest nerd I've ever met, right? Very cool, very approachable. You know, he will joke or laugh with you. Cool guy, right? From what I've experienced, cool guy. And the fact that he's willing to let Ryan Reynolds go in on him multiple times with the jokes in this movie, I love it. That just gives me a very, very positive sign. It's a green flag, okay, that this movie is going to make us laugh. It is going to have a great time. I already told y'all another great sign is the fact that they're doing reshoots kind of close to the release of the film, which lets me believe if you're doing reshoots late, if y'all get the script at the last minute, and if Kevin Feige is okay with people making fun of him, oh my God, they about to go in on this movie and the jokes are going to be fresh. That's that. I don't think y'all understand how key that is. When your jokes are fresh and they're relevant and they're not from something 2 years ago when the movie was actually being made, that is such a good thing. So I cannot wait for this movie. But y'all let me know. What do you think about this Deadpool update? Are you feeling good that they're so secretive about the script and how they're going about it? How do you feel about Kevin Feige being out here on set having a good old time for them to drag him in his own movie? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. All right. What you got? Do you see Hollywood Rock finally walk out of the Heel Rock theme song? No, I didn't. I haven't seen anything. Somebody just told me The Rock is back. I'm waiting. So I'm about to go back and check it out, but I haven't seen nothing yet. But thank you for that. I haven't seen nothing. LeVry, what you got? I hate the spoiler culture, man. You and me both. But the studios played with fire by flirting around with it, and they don't take responsibility for it too. Listen, I don't care who does it. I don't care. Yes, you're right, because I remember Fast and Furious. Yeah, Fast and Furious. What was that? Universal? They went and gave the rap the inside scoop or whatever that The Rock was going to come back to Fast and Furious. Nobody was even looking for him. We all thought it was done. And that one little thing that could have made Fast 10 at least have another positive, that one little thing, they couldn't include that. They couldn't leave that be, but they got so desperate that they had to leak it and spoil it a couple days before the movie came out. Stupid. Hate all of it. Bakers, what you got? Spoilers, thumbnails, ruined Spider-Man for me. I was still excited to see Toby, but the surprise of it all was ruined and didn't have the same impact. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, this is why, I get in arguments with my friends, who are like, oh, I don't mind spoilers. I'm like, you don't know that. Like, I know you can say that, but it's impossible for someone to know whether spoilers ruin things for you or not, because in some alternate universe where you were surprised, you're going to have an entirely different experience versus when you know something going in. It's a completely untapped type of reaction, and you're not going to know. There's no way of knowing how you're going to feel and how it might change your perception of a film if you're genuinely and truly surprised. Let me give y'all an example. I was going into one of the greatest comedies of all time, The Hangover, the first one, the rest not so good. The Hangover, perfect marketing. We didn't know nothing about what was going on. All we knew was these guys had a crazy night in Vegas, and that was it. When I tell you, I laughed so hard when that tiger showed up in the bathroom. The whole theater, I heard a rumble of laughter because everybody was genuinely surprised at how outrageous and how crazy these things were, because we didn't have leakers and spoilers telling us, oh, by the way, Mike Tyson gonna show up. Oh, by the way, there's gonna be a tiger in the bathroom. Like, you didn't have to tell us anything. And walking into that, we were like, oh my God, this is hilarious. If people knew all this stuff going into the movie, do we really think it would have had the same reaction? Probably not. So, yes, that surprise factor, those spoilers, they matter. Those things matter. So, anyway. Now, hey, hold on. Hangover is one of the best to me. Okay. Now I know some people about to get in their feelings. Man, my favorite's Animal House. My favorite is, Telling the Hey Good Nights. And listen, I'm just saying it's one of my favorites. Okay, that's all I'm saying. But anyway, thank you so much for that. Appreciate you. All right. I think we can move on. We're gonna stick with Marvel. Matter of fact, we're gonna stick with Marvel and go into some Marvel rumors. So as with any rumor, take it with whatever grain of salt that you like. But this is also coming from Daniel Richmond, and Daniel so far has been, pretty accurate, I would say, or if anything, has been more trustworthy. Whether the rumors pan out or not, has been more trustworthy with the rumors that have come out. So that's the only reason I'm actually even reporting on them. A bunch of the other rumors I don't care about. But we have some rumors here about Eternals, and some other Marvel projects and their supposed future. I've already told y'all I'm not a fan of Eternals. Like, that movie to me, while Eternals was well made, technically, story didn't do it for me. The action was repetitive and boring, and it was too many characters. You had too many characters. I didn't have enough time to invest in them, and I did not care about the love story at all. This is probably one of the most least. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is one of the least rewatchable Marvel movies that's out there. Like, I just cannot get down with Eternals. But it's not just Eternals. We've also had some other bad Marvel movies that have added to the state of phase 4 being lackluster. And we also know that Bob Iger has come back. He has basically said we got to slow down. We can't be he also said, listen, everything don't need a sequel. Everything don't need a sequel, and we're gonna slow down and focus on other things. So we got this rumor now from Daniel Richmond, and it says here Marvel Studios will be taking fewer risks in the future and focusing on more guaranteed hits. This means that Eternals 2, which was already secretly being worked on, is now on hold. Why? Bob Iger believes it's a destined flop. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige would still like to see the sequel get made. Ant-Man 4 and Captain Marvel 3 are also not expected to happen. There's only one word that comes to mind when I think of Eternals 2, Captain Marvel 3, and Ant-Man 4 not moving forward. Good. 2 more words. Thank you. Yes, these are great things. Thank you. Usually I tell y'all, when Kevin Feige wants something, trust Kevin Feige. He knows what he's doing. All good. Kevin, this ain't it. You want Eternals 2? No, thank you. No, thanks. Like, I get it. Chloe Zhao, solid director. Listen, on paper, oh, the lighting is great. The sound is good. Good quality actors hired. On paper, I get it. Eternals 2 wasn't it. Eternals was not it. It just was not it. Hold on. What did it get? Let me see. What did people give Eternals? Yikes. Yeah. And here's the thing. Eternals is more of a movie that I would expect critics to like more. Critics gave this thing a 47%. Vast majority of critics who like this art house type of style didn't mess with it. A 77 from audiences and only 10,000. Only 10,000 people wanted to review this. I told y'all, don't just be looking at the big numbers. Look at how many people contributed to it as well. There should be tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people if this movie was really good. The fact that it only had 10,000 and it's only at a 77, this ain't a movie. Listen, Eternals is not a hill to die on. This ain't it, Kevin. Back off. And on top of that, what the hell story are you going to tell us? I don't need an Eternals 2 movie to tell me about the celestial that's in the middle of the sea. I know we still need to address it. We don't need a whole Eternals movie to do that, though. That's not necessary. Captain Marvel 3, thank you. Goodbye. Now, shout out to Tiana Paris. I'm always here to see more of her. And she can definitely show up in more stuff. I'm here for the Monica Rambeau. However, we don't need no more Captain Marvel movies. For what? The first movie was already a problem. And I've already told y'all this, and I don't care who disagrees. The first Captain Marvel movie, I don't care how triggered some of y'all get when people say this, but it's the fact and truth. The first Captain Marvel movie benefited from the Infinity War and Endgame wave. If it was not for that, that movie would have bombed. If Captain Marvel would have came out earlier, that movie was not going to be a hit. But it only made that billion because we were thirsty for anything Infinity War Endgame related. That was the only reason the first Captain Marvel got money. It didn't get well received, but that's why it got money. Ant-Man 4? Hell no. Hell no. What y'all finna tell us about Ant-Man? What we got to know about him? He about to go back to Baskin Robbins? There's nothing else I care about Ant-Man. You already took, now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he should have never gotten a movie, but it was okay. I like the first Ant-Man movie. I actually like that. And shout out to Luis. Luis was great, but Ant-Man was never necessary. What did we do? What did we need in Ant-Man 2? Ant-Man 2 was just like, it was fun. Let's try it again. That was cool. That was cool. Ant-Man 3? Oh, you proved that this was a waste of all our time. The only thing that made Ant-Man 3 somewhat intriguing was Kang. And even when that was announced, we was like, why are y'all taking Kang and putting him in the Ant-Man movie? Even the pairing made little to no sense. Why are you taking this potential B to A level villain and putting him with this C level character? Now, the thought was maybe Scott was finally going to get killed off. Now, I'm not rooting for it, but I was like, dang, that'd be a really good way to really amplify Kang. But y'all couldn't even do that. Y'all made y'all top tier villain get defeated by some super ants. Who the hell was thinking about an Ant-Man 4? Whoever was thinking about an Ant-Man 4, dock their pay right now. And if that's Kevin, take that L. I know you can't be sitting in the offices talking about how can we get Ant-Man 4 up and running again. No, you should not. For what? Whether it's the Eternals, whether it's Captain Marvel, whether it's Ant-Man, these are not characters that need full-on movies outside of maybe their introduction. It's fine if you want to introduce us to the character and let us know, hey, this is the character. That's fine. That's fine. I understand that. But everybody does not need a sequel. We don't need to go deeper. There's nothing else with Scott Lang that I care about. The closest you had was him and his daughter's relationship, but at this point, we just know that she's gonna be a bad little kid that likes to do bad things with her friends. I don't care about Cassie. Cassie got recasted 5 times. Don't nobody care about her. She already bad. And here's the other thing. Bob Iger, if this is true, we're just assuming this is true. If he wants to focus on things that are successful, that are guaranteed hits, do it. Because let's be real. When Marvel started out, they couldn't play with all of their toys. They didn't have all their character rights. We knew that Marvel was coming into the game handicapped. They only had one hand behind their back. We knew that. We knew that we weren't getting Fantastic Four. We knew we weren't getting no X-Men. We knew at the time we weren't getting Spider-Man. We knew that. And that is what made us kind of be like, you know what? Whatever. What y'all got to give us? Oh, y'all gonna give us Iron Man? All right. Y'all gonna give us Captain America, Thor? All right. Oh, y'all gonna give us some random people, Guardians of the Galaxy? Whatever. Our expectations were low because we knew Ant-Man wasn't playing with a full deck. But now, y'all got them X-Men. Y'all got them Fantastic Four. Y'all got all the character rights, and y'all partially playing around with Spider-Man. In other words, y'all are playing with a full deck, and y'all playing with all y'all players. You playing with all your toys. Stop playing with our time. Don't play with our time with more random characters that don't nobody care about. Don't do that. At this point, you owe us, Marvel. You owe us guaranteed hits. Give us those movies with those characters that we've been waiting for, that you are no longer handicapped or held back from using. Give us Blade. Why? Because Blade made you. There would be no MCU if it were not for Blade. Give us Fantastic Four. Just give us a competent one that doesn't remind us of the last atrocities that happened before. And by the way, I'll say this right now, early. We don't need a Fantastic Four sequel. Give us Fantastic Four, introduce the family, don't do no more Fantastic Four sequels because they're not that interesting. They're just not. I don't care how much money that Fantastic Four movie makes. We don't need no more. Because after this, what needs to start happening with Marvel is not a question of let's keep continuing individual stories. It's only some characters that are good enough to have individual stories. You know who they are? The ones that have their own comic book series and that are higher selling. I would argue that those would be the ones that you want to pursue. But neither here nor there. Marvel just needs to go ahead and start making universal movies. What do I mean by that? I'm saying make movies that are about certain themes, certain ideas, and just include everybody in them. I'm not saying everything got to be an Avengers level movie, but what I am saying is, like, if you're gonna make another movie, Secret Wars, not Secret Wars, Secret Invasion. Y'all literally could have had a Secret Invasion as a movie, and you could have just put everybody in there. It doesn't have to be an Avengers movie. It could just be everybody involved, all the characters, and make that work. Or you can just have you could have just done Quantumania. And Quantumania did not have to be an Ant-Man movie. It could have just been a movie where they happen to go to the quantum realm. We happen to see Ant-Man, and maybe we run into some other characters. Y'all can mix and match some stuff up. So I am very, very okay with individual sequels no longer going on with these less than let's say underperforming solo characters. We don't need that. Give me more Monica Rambeau in multiple movies. Give me Captain Marvel. Give me Ms. Marvel in multiple movies. And here's how I can show y'all they know how to make this work. Y'all remember the Incredible Hulk, right? When was the last time the Hulk had his own movie? 2008. Since then, what did Marvel decide to do? They decided we're going to tell the Hulk story in individual movies over time. And it was fine. It was fine. You can't do that with other characters. You can't tell Carol's story in individual things. You can't tell Scott Lang's story in individual movies. They're not that deep. And it's okay to sprinkle them in. So I am very okay with these things not moving forward. So okay with it. Let's see. There was some more rumors here. Yeah, Eternals, no Ant-Man. It also says that Monica Rambeau and Maria are not in Deadpool 3. So that's something. More Venom. It says Venom 3 will be the last solo film, thank God. But Sony has plans for him in other projects, and Foggy is open for Venom to appear in Secret Wars. Is he gonna die? If he dies, I'm fine with that too. I'm just saying, like, if Last Dance is the last solo film, fine. But Kevin, stop playing with fire. We don't need Venom. Not that Venom. This would be a perfect time to reinvent Venom. I've already told y'all the biggest problem with Venom is the fact that this man is not even a villain. I don't want the anti-hero villain, the anti-hero Venom. Not yet. Yes, we know eventually he becomes that, but not yet. We still ain't seen the on-site I'm killing Peter Parker Spider-Man Venom. We haven't seen that yet. That's the Venom we need. That's the Venom that's a guaranteed hit. So I guess some people thought that Monica Rambeau, since she was, if you saw the post-credit scene in the Marvels, apparently that's not going to show up in Deadpool 3. We'll see. Marvel changes stuff at the last minute. So, all of these things, like I said, you take those with a grain of salt. But yeah, anyway, guys, what do you think about these Marvel rumors? How do you feel about Eternals 2 and Ant-Man 4 and all these other things potentially not moving forward? Did you want to see them move forward? I don't know. Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's see. Tony, what you got? What do you think went wrong with Ant-Man 3? So according to Bob Iger, he said that the pandemic was part of the issue. I think that there was too much trust given to Peyton Reed. There was way too much trust given to the writer of Ant-Man 3. I also believe that Marvel's process to evaluate whether things work or not is flawed. That's one of the bigger issues, right? So what Marvel currently does is they do their in-house friends and family screening. So what does that mean? They take Marvel employees and their family or whoever to come on in. They surprise them with a certain movie and be like, hey, we just want you to check this out. And those people rate the movies, give their thoughts, opinions, etc. Now, here's my only issue with that. While I understand how maybe that might have worked in the past, I don't think that that's actually a good way to get quality control. Who's going to sit here and say excuse me, boss, Mr. Foggy, your movie is trash. Who's gonna say that at the friends and family screening? I'm not gonna sit here and trash my boss's work at my job's work meeting. Who does that? Nobody's gonna do. So my question is like, maybe Marvel needs to change their evaluation process. Excuse me, Marvel, while we're here, I'm an MCU consultant. Bring me in. I'll tell y'all to y'all face. And the reason why I don't take pleasure in trashing things, I get frustrated and disappointed because I want things to be better. So I would be happy to be in there and be like, yo, Marvel, them screaming goats, take them out. Not gonna work. Yo, Marvel, Gore the God Butcher, you might want him to actually kill some more gods. Just saying. Yo, Marvel, all of that other movie and Ant-Man, just throw it away. Super Ants, squash them. Raid, spray all of that. Spray all of that. Like, sometimes y'all got a little too, it seems like, from an outsider's perspective, Marvel's got way too comfortable, and I don't think they really got a good feel on the pulse of people outside. Why do I say that? Because it was reported earlier in that big behind the scenes Marvel Studios book, they thought Ant-Man 3 was going to blow us away. They thought, hey, y'all, we got super ants, and that guy over there has got holes. We going to kill him with this one. Yep. You betcha. Y'all really thought, what the hell made y'all think Ant-Man 3 was going to be the move? So I really I wish I had the opportunity to ask them straight up, but I really be like, I like how y'all are changing everything. I like how y'all are trying a different approach. But my real question is, what are y'all doing for quality control? Because I think that is probably the real black eye that y'all need to fix and get right. But thank you for that, Tony. Appreciate you. Didier, what you got? MODOK should have been the main villain of Ant-Man 3, and Kang should have showed up in the post-credit scene like Thanos did. Easy. That's seriously. You could have had Ant-Man going against Darren. That would have been a nice little full circle thing. Y'all also should have brought back Luis. And yeah, bring Kang in. Yeah, and here's the thing. That's just bare minimum. Now, would that have been interesting for me to go to the theaters and see? No, because I don't care about MODOK, and I don't care that much about Ant-Man. That does not say blockbuster to me. That sounds like a straight to Disney Plus movie, but that still would have been better than what we got. And that's the sad part. So you're absolutely right. But it also leans into the fact that, did we even need an Ant-Man 3? So anyway, thank you for that. That was good. That was a good one. Let's see. All right, let's get to the main story here. Oh, before we do that, I think I have to give y'all something. Give me a sec. Did I upload it? I don't know if I uploaded it. Dang, I don't think I did. Oh, I did. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me download something here for y'all real quick, because I did want to give y'all at least a little something. It's nothing crazy, so don't get too excited. But I do want to download it and get it ready for y'all. Shouldn't take long. Okay. All right. So while that's downloading, X-Men 97. So X-Men 97 has been a very highly anticipated animated series, at least for people in my generation. I think that, if you grew up watching this on them Saturday mornings, if you grew up watching this after school, this was that show. I had already started watching it, the reruns and everything. It's currently on Disney Plus. I started rewatching it just so that I could prep for X-Men 97. I will hold off on my reaction to X-Men 97. I've seen the first 3 episodes. And I'll talk about that next week. I think it'll be out by that time anyway. And by the way, the first 2 episodes are going to drop for y'all. Now they did release, by the way, a clip of X-Men 97. I would recommend that you don't watch the clip. If you want to watch the trailer, that's fine. I would recommend do not watch the new clip of X-Men that just released, because in my opinion, it's a little too spoilery just for the first episode. And I also think that's why they are releasing 2 episodes at once. But before we get into that, we'll get more into that later. Don't again, do not look up the clip. Don't look it up. They released a new clip. It's a new little trailer, extended thing. Just don't watch it. Don't watch it. But the news that shocked everybody this week, we all got dumbfounded. We all was surprised. We all still asking questions. Is what happened to Bo DeMayo? In case you did not know, Bo DeMayo is the creator of X-Men 97. Bo DeMayo is the one who has been in charge of giving us X-Men 97. And he's been with Marvel for a minute now, but this man just got fired. And he didn't just get fired any old way. My man got fired on his day off. And nobody knows how, why, where, and when this is even happening. Matter of fact, yes, we were all gobsmacked that Bo DeMayo got fired. Just gobsmacked, okay? Because nobody knew. Nobody understood. Great. So let's kind of go into it. Now, here's the thing. And this is why I kind of like having the advantage of, saving the news for a little bit later, because some people speculated, it's because of his other accounts, and maybe it was this, and maybe we're gonna put some things together. We got a couple clues, and I think we're gonna detective this thing out a little bit. Okay, so let's kind of go through it here and talk about why and what happened with this mysterious firing here. It says DeMayo, a Marvel regular who previously wrote on live action series Moon Knight, as well as early drafts of Blade. He was even discussing loose ideas for a 3rd season of X-Men with members of his team. Now, keep in mind, this was already announced. X-Men 97 was so good, they already did 2 seasons. They did 2 seasons already of that, and he was already talking about a 3rd season. So, this is how good this thing really was. Now, here's the thing. It goes on and says his company email was deactivated, and cast and crew were informed he was no longer on the project. DeMayo's Instagram account, once a source for X-Men updates, was also deleted. No reason for the firing was given. Marvel had no comment. DeMayo's representatives did not return calls for a comment, and emails to the showrunner yielded no response. However, it is very unusual for a top creative on a Marvel project to miss a premiere or cancel press plans last minute, even if they're shuffled to the side. Yes, that's where it's starting to get weird. How you gonna fire somebody? No statement was made. And we don't even, here's the other thing. We don't even have the leakers and insiders talking about this. Y'all remember Victoria Alonso? Oh, they had a lot to say, whether it came from Marvel or whether it came from some insider. There was a whole lot to say when Victoria Alonso got fired. But nobody knows what happened here. And you did this like a week before the show comes out. And there's a lot of questions. Okay, now we're going to keep going into this. And he deleted his social media. So it says here, his silence on social media has been acute, as he was a prolific poster, sharing X-Men tidbits as well as shirtless pictures of himself at the gym. For a time, he also ran a non-explicit OnlyFans account. Now, I know a lot of y'all nasties out there have been talking about the OnlyFans. Now, I don't know nothing about OnlyFans except for it's for a bunch of nasties, okay? And I don't know nothing about that. Nothing. But from what I heard from other individuals, apparently OnlyFans can actually have things that are just for fans and actually not be explicit. And that's apparently what he was posting. So, according to this, and I guess whoever was on his OnlyFans, he wasn't posting a bunch of inappropriate things. He was actually using it for what the site was designed for, which was to post, exclusive stuff for fans. And according to this, he was a very big super fan of Marvel and X-Men and all this other stuff. So, in other words, having an OnlyFans account does not make sense for them to just be like, all right, we're just going to get rid of you. Now, here's the thing. This is why I push back on the idea that he was fired for having an OnlyFans account. This wasn't new. This was not new information. Matter of fact, let's see. He was profiled. It says here, now he is, LGBTQ, right? It says, for a time, he also ran a non-explicit OnlyFans account, all of which inspired the LGBTQ publication Out to declare him the sexy gay Marvel writer and showrunner to know. Okay, so what does this mean? This means he was already known to have an OnlyFans account. And here's the thing. When you look at the Out article, this thing was written October 31st, 2022, which means this is not new that he had an OnlyFans account. In other words, he's had this thing at least for 2 years, or at least over a year. You don't think Marvel knew about that? You don't think Disney probably knew about that? So if a huge magazine is out here, writing about him, if it's already known he has an OnlyFans account, I get the feeling, and by the way, he was just writing early drafts for Blade, and he worked on Moon Knight. So clearly they did not have a problem with him having an OnlyFans account. That was not the problem. Now we get a little bit more. Let's get some more clues, and then we can put some things together. It says here in May of 2023, DeMeo announced that he would be deleting his Twitter account after he was attacked by users accusing X-Men 97 of whitewashing the character Sunspot with the casting of Brazilian actor Guy Augustini in the role. Okay. So, let's see if I can pull up that guy's picture. Okay. Now, I don't know if this guy was for the voice role of Sunspot, but this is who Guy Augustini is. And people were mad because he was supposed to play the role of Sunspot. And if you know about Sunspot, he's a Brazilian guy. He's supposed to be, or at least usually depicted as a brown skinned guy, right? Brown skin Brazilian. So according to this, it's saying here that because of the accusations of whitewashing this character, and by the way, that character is in the first couple episodes of X-Men 97, so you'll see it. And they did not whitewash him, or if they did, they fixed it. Either way, when this controversy came up, Bo DeMeo took off his Twitter account. He turned it off or deleted it. So, and again, I don't know this brother, so I'm just going off of what I'm reading, but it sounds like he was kind of sensitive to certain backlash, right? Certain backlash. Now, here's what's also interesting. First of all, he didn't delete his entire Twitter or Instagram. He didn't delete his entire Instagram because his Instagram is still up, but it's definitely missing a lot of posts. So it's not there. at all. He took almost most things off. But here's what I find interesting is we got some talk about him from the higher ups at Marvel, at least Brad Winderbaum. Brad Winderbaum is the second in command at Marvel. He's the guy that does the TV and Disney Plus content, right? Kevin Feige does all of that. Anything that's TV streaming is Brad Winderbaum. So we got some news here, and this is from an interview of Brad, and I found that this was kind of interesting when he said this. He talked about Bo DeMeo. He said he did excellent work writing seasons 1 and 2, and I can't wait for fans to see the series. The entire team came together to create a revival worthy of the X-Men 60-year legacy. Huh. So, what's interesting to me is that you have the boss still talking highly of his work. And in addition to that, you also had the director, Jake, I forget his last name. But Jake is one of the directors of the series of X-Men 97. And in some interviews, he also talked highly about Bo DeMeo. Now let's put all this together. You have an abrupt, I'm gonna bring it all back now. I know it's a lot of information. You have this guy get fired abruptly. No word, no comment, nothing. He deletes his social media, which he's done in the past, but yet people are still kind of sort of still talking positively about him. He's had an OnlyFans for a while, and he wasn't fired earlier than that. So clearly the OnlyFans is not the issue. I have two theories as to what possibly led to him being fired. The first theory is he must have said something on social media that was just terrible. Now, the only hot button issues so far that I've seen people talk about that would get people fired would be if, like we saw Gina Carano, saying something anti-Semitic, saying something against, Jews or Holocaust or, something like that, Hitler. Okay, maybe that'll get you gone, right? We've seen Disney or Lucasfilm be like, nah, we're not messing with you no more. I'm wondering if maybe he made a comment about Israel, Palestine, because that's a very sensitive topic. And we already saw people on Scream getting fired, so I wonder if that had something to do with it. I don't know if he was political in that sense at all. I didn't follow him, so I don't know. But I wonder if maybe he said something politically charged that was definitely going to get some serious blowback. Because the reason why I wonder that is, why would you also delete your social media? Right? Now, here's the thing. If he had said something politically charged, I don't think he would actually delete his social media. Again, look at Gina Carano. Disney was like, yo, we don't really like what you're saying. They gave her a lot of chances, by the way. Can you take this down or at least apologize? Disney will work with you. Marvel will work with you. They'll be like, listen, man, this ain't really cool. Can we find a solution here? But that doesn't explain why you take it down, because if you said something controversial, you probably believed on it, stood on business, and maybe you get fired, but that doesn't mean you would actually delete your instant social media. Now, some people have also talked about maybe he leaked some sort of explicit pictures. Here's why that might be true, but this is why I don't really believe it. First of all, the internet always keeps receipts. If he had leaked something like that, it would have been out there. Somebody would have been like, that's it. This is why. Listen, how many times have y'all heard of XYZ celebrity leaking XYZ pictures And then all of a sudden we know about it within 5 seconds. So I'm thinking that was not the case, but this is where I'm thinking could be it. I think something illegal happened. I'm thinking. I think something HR related happened. And I'm talking about something where they're like, yo, nope, we can't even be a part of this. I'm thinking maybe he got mixed up with some bad company. And maybe this is something legal. I'm not saying Jonathan Majors level. I'm not saying that, but maybe. And maybe Marvel was like, nah, we gotta, because to me, I'm thinking, why else would you have to delete your own social media? It's one thing if you do something and your studio doesn't agree with you and they just let you go. But I'm wondering at the fact that if you are pressured into deleting your own social media and you get fired, that sounds like you did something messed up and you need to cover it up. And Marvel was like, just in case, we got to part ways. Because I'm still thinking of the fact that they're talking nicely about him. The director was still like, oh yeah, Bo was great. Bo was working out. Yeah. The executive is like, yeah, Bo did great. I'm just saying, like, if y'all didn't really want to mess with him, let me ask y'all this. Have y'all heard Kevin Feige or Bo or anybody else talk about Jonathan Majors since the verdict? I haven't. I haven't heard nobody at Marvel really talking about Jonathan Majors at all. I mean, the closest we got, I asked Kevin Feige, I was like, oh, Jonathan Majors. He was like, right? Isn't that crazy? But I haven't seen nothing else official because they probably just want to separate themselves from drama. So the mystery is still out there. I think maybe something, I don't even want to say illegal. Maybe it was just something egregious happened. And they're like, you know what? We just can't. I see some people already say he went to one of Diddy's parties. First of all, you got to tell Diddy no. First of all, okay, if that is the case. You got to. You got to tell Diddy no. But I'm not going to speculate that far. So I'm thinking it was either something egregious. Maybe he got caught up in the wrong crowd or something. Or maybe he just said something that was just really, really bad online and he had to protect himself and Marvel had to separate themselves at the same time. I don't know. I'm hoping that it's something else because it clearly was not for creative differences. He was already talking to his team about a season 3 and they already greenlit a season 2. So it's not for creative differences. I mean, did he cuss somebody out? Like what? I don't know. But anyway, that's kind of crazy. Now, the one little thing I did want to kind of tease was we do have a little bit of X-Men 97 news about this as well. So I'm just going to piggyback this on top of that. This is actually coming from the director of X-Men 97. He goes on to kind of talk about the show and what you can kind of expect. And he says it's exactly the same level of cameos as the original series. Oh, this is Brad Winderbaum. Sorry. He says you're going to get the same level of cameos as the original. Even though X-Men 97 is not in the sacred timeline, there is a universe of 90s cartoons that we know because of Loki and every other multiverse story. We know that if your brain wants to go there, there's always potential for connection. So in other words, X-Men 97 is not in the MCU directly. It's part of the multiverse, but it does have the possibility of connecting somewhere down the line. So if anything, especially if you've already seen the post-credit scene of the Marvels, you can already see where they're going with that. So that is a possibility. Now here's something else, and this is a live exclusive for y'all. I had the opportunity to actually talk to one of the creators of X-Men 97. Now, here's the funny thing. I was supposed to talk to Bo DeMayo. That's right. Like I had, listen, for like a good couple weeks, it was in my email. I was going to talk to Bo DeMayo and I was going to talk to him about X-Men and all that. I was geeked. I was ready. And then I got that letter, I got that email, and it was like, yeah, we're going to have to switch that up. Bo's not available. I was like, dang, for real? Okay. And then this news came out, and I was like, oh, I get it now. I get it now. Now, just to kind of give y'all a little pro tip, whenever drama like this happens, it does not help to try to ask them about these questions because Marvel's not going to give you nothing good. They're going to be like, oh, well, no comment. Oh, he was great. Like they'll give you some stale answers. So you don't want to waste your time. Right. However, and no, I can't still reach him. Nobody can reach him. Like the big outlets can't reach him. So he's out of here. But what I can do and what I will do for y'all, I'm gonna give y'all a little teaser of my interview with the director of X-Men 97. So I did get a chance to talk to him. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I'll drop the full interview probably later this weekend. But I did get a chance to talk to him. And I'm just give y'all a little inside clip, since y'all here on the live. I appreciate y'all. But one of the things that I kind of joked with him about was, the characters fainting and stuff like that. And I told him I had seen the first 3 episodes, and I just thought that what he said here was really, really, it got me excited. It's not a big thing, but it was a little thing that he's mentioned here. So I wanted to share that with y'all just real quick.
Really?
Well, listen, thank you so much for bringing this back. I am super, super excited to finish. Already seeing the first 3 episodes. My heart's pounding. I'm in it. I'm hoping people faint a little less.
Yeah,
compared
well, you won't be upset. You ain't gonna be upset. I can promise you that. And what I will say is these are our slowest episodes, my dude.
Love it. Thank you so much, Jake. I'm looking forward to more. So the first, I'm not gonna say what happens, but like the first couple episodes are solid. But if those are the slowest that they have and the rest is going to turn it up, I'm here for this. I'm here for this. And he's like an X-Men junkie. Like I'll give you something else that should make you a little more excited about this. Jake came from DC animated. This is where that guy came from. And when you look at his IMDb, he did a lot of the individual Batman movies, but he was involved with a lot of different DC projects, and we already know DC animated been kicking Marvel's butt for a long time. So the fact that they were able to poach him and bring him on over, and this man grew up with X-Men and he understood the X-Men, because how many times we be talking about people that don't know the source material making the stuff? This man knows what he's doing, and he's worked at DC. Listen, if he sits here and tells me that them first 3 episodes are the slowest, and they've already greenlit season 2, sign me up. Give me all of it. I want every piece of these X-Men 97 shows. Every piece. All right, but y'all let me know. What do y'all think about this whole mysterious firing? What are your thoughts and theories on what could have happened, what might be happening? How do you feel about what the director had to say about the first couple, the first season of X-Men 97? Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. All right. Oh yeah, thank you so much. I hope I said that right. I was waiting for X-Men 97. Listen, you and me both. Thank you so much for the very generous support right there. I appreciate you. Omar, what you got? Bro must have been a habitual line stepper. Possibly. I mean, that's possible. That is very possible. We'll see. Let's see. JN Bo was fired for questionable content on his OnlyFans. Not sure why he'd have it, but it's Disney. Well, like I already said before, supposedly it wasn't questionable. It was non-explicit stuff. So, again, I mean, I'm not looking at his OnlyFans, but it's been up there for a while, unless he snuck something in there, maybe. But if that was the case, why didn't they fire him before? They could have fired him like a year before that, but they kept bringing him back. So I don't know. It could be, but I don't think the OnlyFans thing is it. I don't think so. Riga, what you got? Coming out the theater, I had Dune at a 9 out of 10. That's what I'm talking about. It definitely looked crazy on that 97-foot IMAX screen. I kind of want to see it again, but it's so long. Would you? I don't know. I don't know. It depends on how big of a fan you are with it. I mean, what I saw, I got enough. I'm good. Like if I had a friend, if my wife wanted to go see it, I'd be like, all right, cool, let's go. But will I be like, let me get up and go watch doing it? No, I'm not gonna do that. But it was good. I think I gave it a 9 as well. So I'm with you on that. But I would say let your own personal feelings dictate what you want to do with that. All right. So I almost forgot we got one last topic for tonight. And that is I've got to review for you guys the American Society of Magical Negroes. This movie is interesting. Now, a lot of us saw the initial teaser trailer when that first came out, and I think a lot of us was like, oh, snaps. This is the black version of Harry Potter. Like, here we go. We about to get Black Hogwarts, right? And, then the trailer came out, and I did a reaction to the trailer, and it did not come out the way I think a lot of us hoped. It was a very different movie than what we probably initially thought it would be. So, it stars Justice Smith, as you see there on the left, and David Allen Greer. And the general idea is that this is a young man, Aaron, that's played by Justice. He's recruited into a secret society of magical black people who dedicate their lives to a cause of utmost importance. And that cause is making white people's lives easier. All right. Now, before I get started in this, let me just kind of explain what this whole magical Negro thing is. Now, a magical Negro it's a term that was coined or at least made popular by Spike Lee. I want to say back in like 2001. And Spike Lee basically was talking about it's a character stereotype for black people in films and movies, right? So, for example, you could have Michael Clark Duncan in The Green Mile. You could have Will Smith in The Legend of Bagger Vance. You could have Morgan Freeman in Bruce Almighty or whatever, right? The magical Negro stereotype is basically a black character that lives for the sole purpose of supporting and uplifting the white protagonist's main character. And the reason why it's a harmful stereotype is because, in my opinion, what it does is it puts black people on a weird spectrum with no in between. Either we are portrayed or thought about as being ghetto, hood, criminals, degenerates, whatever, or we have to be exceptionally magical, wise, spiritual people that can't make white people uncomfortable. So these two very unrealistic parallels, what they end up doing is they erase the realistic humanity that gets depicted of black people or black characters. So you never care about the characters' desires, their goals. You don't care about how they're feeling because you're so focused on the main white character. All right. So that's the ins and outs of the black magical Negro stereotype in film and television. So when you see that, you know, you got to kind of wonder and be like, wait a minute, what's going on here? You know? So anyway, let me give the good, you know, for this, in my opinion, right? I liked Justice Smith. I thought he did a pretty good job with the role that he was given. And I also liked David Allen Greer. I thought that he was actually pretty good. And, you know, he had some funny moments as well. And, you know, overall, they had pretty decent, you know, on screen chemistry together. And that worked, right? It worked. The other thing I will give this film points for is, you know, obviously in the title, The Magical Negroes, it did communicate in an effective way what that trope looked like and how it would act. So when you watch this movie, if you didn't know what the magical Negro was or how it moved or operated, this movie does do a good job in educating you into what that is, right? It does do that, and it accomplishes that feat, I would say, successfully. Another thing that this movie does, and because it is a satire, so it is comedy, right? It is a satire. It does a pretty good job of exasperating and displaying white tone deafness. So what I mean by that is it will show you certain examples that some white people exhibit that show how they could be tone deaf to racial issues in society. Okay. So again, it's really just showing you different stereotypes for different types of people to try to illustrate a point of racial complexity in society. It does that. It does that. That's it. Now we have to talk about the bad. This movie overall tries to talk about the racial issues for Black people. It also tries to talk about the magical element, you know, of the magical Negro. And as you can see here, it's also a romantic comedy. Now, I'll go into this a little bit later in the reason as to why this is problematic. But in general, the plot is messy. And the reason why I say it's messy is because dealing with race on its own, especially American racism, is already a messy, complicated topic. So let me give you like some quick parallels. Being Black in America, that's one level. That's hard enough. That's a lot. Listen, we got a lot to talk about. We got stuff people still don't want to talk about, you know, like reparations. That's one level right there. This movie, by using the magical Negroes, tackles that, being Black in America. Then you have the other complexity when it comes to race of colorism. This movie tries to get into colorism, but doesn't really. So you have being Black, then you have being, you know, lighter skin, but then you also have the issue of being biracial, which the main character, Aaron, actually is. So when you sit here and talk about being Black in America, having the colorism issue, and then being biracial, that's a lot to talk about. And then you want to throw a rom-com on top of that, and then you want to throw in the sci-fi fantasy element of magic. Too much, too fast. This movie couldn't handle all of that because something suffers somewhere down the line because things kind of get touched or they don't get fully explored, and that ultimately leaves with a less than satisfying outcome when it comes to the overall story. The romance to me felt very forced. I did not care for it. It did not make a lot of sense. I thought that the movie was strong enough to keep going with the whole magical Negro thing. That was enough in itself. But to force the romance in there on top of that, I just don't know how it helped. And sometimes it didn't make sense, especially once we get to the ending. And I mean that I'm not going to spoil it because whatever, but that just did not help. Also, the end of the film, when you get to the end, I personally felt as though the ending was not earned. And a lot of that was because the messy story was all over the place. Because we're dealing with racism, because we're trying to figure out this romantic situation, because we're trying to deal with this joke or whatever comedy, because we're dealing with white people and white stereotypes. By the time we get to the ending, some of the stuff just doesn't feel earned, and it doesn't pay off at all. I'll put it this way. At the end of Barbie, how they had that America Ferrera moment, you have something similar here. And I was just like, man, whatever. Like, whatever. Like, it didn't feel meh. It didn't hit right. It just did not hit right. So you have all this stuff working up, building up, and it just did not get to the end that would have made it kind of helpful. And then I also have this other issue too. I don't know if this movie does a good job to help educate white audiences. I don't even know if black audiences will find this helpful or appealing. And I don't know if this will gravitate to people, let's say, that are outside of black and white ethnicities. In other words, I don't know who this movie is for. Because a lot of times when you're trying to communicate these type of topics, you're trying to also engage audiences, hopefully on different levels, to educate them. And I don't think that the writing was strong enough, or I'm sorry, the writing wasn't focused enough to actually communicate these things effectively. It was trying to do too much again. So that, I kind of put on the director and the writer, Kobe Libby. The lack of focus, especially doing all this heavy lifting with the already complex themes, it was too much, man. It was just too much. So now let me get down to the reason. Magical Negroes, I'm sorry, the American Society of Magical Negroes is it's a complex film that tries to tackle a very sensitive topic in a comedic way and ultimately fails at that endeavor. It bites far too much off than it can actually chew. There isn't enough comedy in this movie to help make up for how far it missed the mark that it ambiguously tried to hit. Now, some people will compare this movie to American Fiction. The movie was also, American Fiction was, it had comedy, it dealt with racial stereotypes, but it actually stuck the landing. I would say that this American Society of Magical Negroes is like American Fiction light. It's a diet American Fiction. It's we have Get Out at Home. It's not, it just doesn't actually do what it was trying to do. And like I said, I don't know who this is for. I don't know if I can say, man, white America, y'all got to watch this, because I don't think they're going to get it. I don't think I could sit here and say, hey, brother, hey, sister, you got to go watch this, because I don't think it's going to be appealing for them. Not to mention, I'm going to get into that later. I'll get into that later. But this movie is kind of all over the place. And again, I'm not trying to tear it down, but I would hope that, if the director was even watching, I doubt it, that they would just learn from this, that there was something in this film that could have been easier received if it was just a little bit more simplified. So when it comes to the rating for the American Society of Magical Negroes, I have to give this a 5.5 out of 10. It's just not a very good movie. It had good intentions, but my goodness, it was just definitely not something I thought that understood the assignment. I thought that it tried to do too much too fast, and it just did not work out. So yeah, this is not something I would say you would have to hurry to go see. You're not going to see me recommend it. I'm not going to recommend it. I'm not saying you shouldn't go watch it. If you're curious, feel free, whatever. You're not going to get me to tell you got to hurry up and go see it. But if you do plan on watching the American Society of Magical Negroes, please feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, especially after you've seen it. Come on back to this video and let me know. That is my review. Now we have to talk a little tea. Hold on. Let me change this, because this is why I have this channel, so I can talk about these things. So as you guys know, as a film critic, I'm going to separate my opinion. I try to be fair about a film objectively, but when we gonna do some commentary, now it's just us talking. Okay. Now, if y'all happen to go to the AFCA YouTube channel, and the AFCA YouTube channel is the African American Film Critic Association YouTube channel. Here it is right here. Oh, no, wrong one. Sorry. Here it is right here. If you go there, you will see that we have an interview for the American Society of Magical Negroes. Now, I'm not saying you got to watch it right now or nothing like that, but give it a view, okay? But I wanted to just comment on something because, you know, while this was happening, something happened during this interview that kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. And, you know, I'm trying to go through it. I don't know where it's at. But the interview kind of went south a little bit. Now, this is around, let me see. I'm in this. So I'm in this interview, but they cut your boy out for a lot of it. So whatever. But anyway, while I was in this interview, I had asked the director, you know, some questions. And I felt as though, you know, these were questions that maybe some of you would also have. And one of the questions that I had was, you're dealing with, you know, Black people issues, right? And I'm not sitting here saying that you shouldn't talk about these things. I'm not saying that. But you chose to make your main character biracial. Okay. And one of my pushbacks was kind of like, being Black in America, dark skinned Black especially, again, it's multiple layers. You have being Black, you have being lighter skinned, you have being biracial. It's multiple levels. I'm like, just talking about Blackness in America is complicated. But then you go add this extra layer of making your main character biracial. And I'm not having an issue with the fact that he's biracial. I'm having an issue with the fact that that experience is unique in itself, and it also deserves some time, right? Because you're talking about a unique, I mean, I can't identify with that. I don't know what it's like to be biracial and to be caught up in an American racial cultural war like that. I don't know that. So I would only assume that the movie would be there to kind of give me some sort of, insight. Help me out, right? The movie doesn't do that. It doesn't do that. It literally casually lets you know, oh, by the way, my mom is white. Just by the way, it just lets you know that. But we never go into like, what is it like being close to whiteness like this, but at the same time, you're living in this world, like in this way. Like, so for me, that was one of the issues that I had with this film when I say, like, bro, you're doing a disservice to the story by overcomplicating it, because you have all these issues that need to be addressed. Now, he gave his answer, right? Now, here's the thing. In fairness to the director, I agreed with his answer. I agreed with it. But what I disagreed with is that his movie didn't communicate or translate what he was intending. That's the difference for me. I was like, bro, you talking a great game. Everything you're saying, I fully agree with. I wish the movie would have told me that. Here's one other thing. And I wanted to say this because I felt as though some people might not know what happened. Now, later on in this interview, my colleague from the movie blog, I don't know if he's still here. If y'all see the movie blog, he might be here. He asked a question, which I thought was an interesting question. Okay, now let me put this up for y'all. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, this is a slight spoiler, not too much. It's not really a spoiler. It's not really a spoiler. I'm gonna tell y'all I'm gonna tell y'all the question, and then y'all can go to the interview and listen to it if you want to. The question that was asked was, in this movie, you already have, a biracial, a lead character. You're already talking about very deep Black, central issues. But the Dr. Umars of this world will kind of be like, yo, how you gonna have the main character be all pro-Black and, talk about Black issues and all this, and then you have him, falling for a white girl, And when I tell you, and you'll see this in the interview, the director was not having it. He was like, hold on, wait a minute, hold on, wait, hold me back, hold on, wait a minute. First of all, she's not white. What did he say? She's a non-person of color. I said, what? Now, here's the thing. In the movie, her name is Lizzie. Let me put her picture up now. In the movie, her name is Lizzie. Right? And, I assumed that she was white too. But the director was like, she is not white. She's a non-Black POC. I was sitting there, I was like when I tell you, like, I don't think they'll show it on here, but I text some people out that I knew saw the movie. I was like, did you know the main girl is not white? It was like, she's not? I was like, but her name was Lizzie and she looked white. So, here's the thing. This is my issue. And I'm not trying to be messy with this. Again, whenever I give criticism, it's for constructive reasons. And I want y'all to go watch the interview. That's why I'm trying to lead y'all to go see that. Go get them some clicks. Shout out to Africa. The issue that I had was that, okay, you're telling us that she's not Black, she's not biracial or whatever that we know of. You're telling us that she's a person of color, whatever. Okay. But your movie doesn't do that at all. Your movie doesn't do that. And he was getting very upset He was getting very upset because he was like, man, you're like, man, hold on, I'll take care of this. I'll it was almost like, when you misgender somebody, it was almost like that. So here was my issue though. My issue is that, sir, you are the director. The same way you went out of your way to let audiences know that the main character, Aaron, was biracial, because for all we know, maybe he was just light skinned, right? Didn't I tell y'all it's layers? You could be black, you could be, a lighter skin, you could be biracial, it could be all a bunch of different things, right? You let the audience know that he was biracial, but you didn't let us know anything about Lizzie. So what do you think people are going to assume? Most people, at least people that I thought that, that I've asked, most people assumed that she was white. What's interesting is, maybe, let's say if I asked 10 people, 2 or 3 was like, I don't know. I think she got a little something in her, right? Here's the thing. Her name is An Lee Bogan. Okay, that's her name, An Lee Bogan. Now, if I had seen An Lee, I'd be like, oh, maybe she is something. First of all, ma'am, your name is not An Lee. Your name is Meredith. Your name is Meredith An Lee Bogan. First of all, okay, first of all. But here's the other point. And this is on the actress's page. This is on her, what is this, backstage page? So when she's trying to get hired and stuff, this is her page. What she put for ethnicities? Asian, ethnically ambiguous, white, European. What does that mean? That means that she can go on any type of movie or set or whatever and be ethnically ambiguous. She can be Asian. She can be white. This is on her acting page. But my problem is not the fact that this woman is biracial or anything. That is not my issue. My issue is that as a director, if you don't want people to assume that your ethnically ambiguous actor is only white, you need to say or do something to inform us. So while you're getting all upset because people are probably going to assume that she's white, and she clearly can play that role if she wants to, the next time you make a movie and you put people in there like that, let folks know. You could have called her, Lizzie Lee, Lizzie Chan. I'm not trying to be stereotypical. I'm just saying sometimes we need a couple clues to kind of help us look twice. Be like, oh, Lizzie Chan. Oh, okay. Maybe she's not some little valley girl from California. Oh, okay. Maybe she is a little Asian. Okay. Maybe I could see something. So, and for those wondering, she's Taiwanese and white. But my point is, in the show that's already dealing with complex issues, you didn't even address this. And this is, again, another example of the movie doing too much. You have complex being black in America issues. You have being lighter skinned with colorism. You have being biracial. And guess what? You just added one more top layer, passing. There was a whole movie literally made called Passing. And this is what this young lady does. Because I know some people want to be on the book and be like, oh, well, on paper, my mom and my dad. No. In America, culturally, I don't go by who your mom and daddy are. I don't go by your, ancestry.com. I don't go by that. I go by what matters in our everyday life. I go by the police test. What are the police going to assume you are? If you get stopped by the police, who and what do they assume you to be? Because we already know that's where your life really starts to matter, depending on where you're from and who you look like and whatever. So that's the test I go by. I know black folks used to go off of the paper bag test and all this, the one drop rule and all. Listen, this is why I say American racism, American, cultural ethnicity issues are complex. You got race, you got colorism, you got being multicultural, then you have passing. It's a lot. So if you're going to be a director and if you're going to talk about or touch on these issues, you got to do the work on all of that. You have to. I'm not saying he should have never hired her. I'm not saying he should have never made his main character biracial or nothing. I'm saying if you're going to do that, you need to understand who you're talking to with your audience, because they're not going to look at Meredith, and be like, oh yeah, that's a pretty Asian girl. Some might, but most probably won't, especially when you go and call her Lizzie. I'm just saying, people are going to assume. So anyway, that was my little bit of tea for Magical Negroes. In case you couldn't tell, I didn't like the movie. And I felt some type of way that he was coming for my boy too when he asked the question, because I'm just like, bro, why are you acting like other people are not going to make that same assumption? And if you don't know that other people are going to make that assumption, you already missed the mark. As a director, you have to juggle a lot of things. But one thing you have to juggle when you're a filmmaker, you have to keep your artistic, liberty and get your message out there. But you also have to make sure that it's accessible to the audience, at least the most people possible. Because if you don't, well, it's not going to look too good on your end. So anyway, that was it. I just wanted to get that off my chest because that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And it really bothered me that he got all defensive. And I'm like, nah, this is on you as a director. You need to protect your actors and your film and your story by being a better communicator. Again, on paper, off screen, man, talks a great game. Much respect. The movie, nah, this wasn't it, bro. Wasn't it? JN, being a black man who works in corporate America, I like the premise. Definitely deal with it in real life. Not sure if it was completely executed. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it starts off with a great premise. If they stuck with just being black in America and having a league of magical Negroes, that's it. Just stick with that. It probably would have been a lot better. And if they wanted to do a sequel with it, cool. But yeah, no, this wasn't it. LeVry, what you got? Speaking of Spike Lee, I wish he could add a sci-fi movie in his collection. I want to see a Blade Runner type movie from him or something. That would be cool. I like it when Spike Lee steps out of his Spike Lee joints. I loved Inside Man, for example. So yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be down for it. He did that wasn't sci-fi. He did Old Boy. Wasn't good though. But he tried. Jan, just re-release Spike Lee's Bamboozle in theaters. Probably, yeah, that would do it. Baker, non-black person of color, thank you for the review. Money I don't have to waste. I was also thinking Black Harry Potter. Never mind now. No, it is not that. Listen, it probably would have been better if they had more magic in it. That probably would have been cool, but whatever. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you so much for taking the time once again, hanging out with me and going through all this. Feel free to go ahead, watch all them replays when I drop the clips. Even if you've seen all this already, it really helps the algorithm. And then leave a comment, all that good stuff. Shout out to everybody who's supported the channel today, guys. Thank you so much. Y'all keeping the lights on for real. I'm trying to tell you, you really doing the work. Thank you so much for those contributions. I don't care how big or little they are. They always mean a lot to me. So thank you for that. All right. We have next week we will reconvene. And we will talk about some more stuff in the movie life and TV world. In the meantime, guys, you know the routine. Wash your hands, wash your butts, and everything in between. Don't catch the flux now. All right. See you guys next week. Peace.